Hello and welcome back to the Pop Tab Podcast, the podcast that is as sweet as soda for breakfast. I am one of your hosts, Brent, the upholder of the unpopular opinion. And joining me as always is the ghost host, Jacob Stokes.
Ooh, I like that.
See, I like the rhythm
That was
of
good.
it.
The
That was
ghost
very good,
host.
right? The ghost host, yeah.
Makes me feel like I'm a paranormal investigator rather than somebody like something spooky, but
Yeah, but it just the rhythm of it I thought
The
was really
ghost
good.
host.
There you go. See? The Pop Tab Podcast is filmed in front of a live Twitch audience. If you want to be a part of that audience, head on over to twitch.tv/realpixel and you can join in on the fun. If you want to know when we go live or when the VODs of this will be available, head on over to our free Patreon, patreon.com/realpixel, and you get all the updates there. Also, right now, you can go over there and find a cool RSS feed link to get this podcast available right into Apple Podcasts. And I'll be making a post later with a link so you can find it right on Spotify as well. It should be searchable, but I had trouble finding it, so I'll give you the link. I don't know what the problem is, Spotify, but I can't find it when I search it, but I have a link that'll make it easier, so you can head on over to Patreon and find the link if you want to listen to it on Spotify or other podcast services. Or if you just want to use the audio file there, it'll be up as well. So,
or grow up, get an iPhone, have Apple Podcasts.
Grow up, wow. I have always had a problem with Spotify because I've done podcasts for so long and it's always been a headache to get podcasts on Spotify.
Yep.
But everyone seems to like it. I do use it now for listening, mostly because someone else pays for it, and I'm just added in, so I don't have to pay for it.
Sure, you're part of the family
Yeah,
plan.
exactly.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, but if you do like audio versions more than video versions, we got a couple different listening options for you, so that should be cool. If you don't know how the show works, first we start with a little bit of housekeeping about the stream and the schedule and stuff that we plan on going forward this week.
The week ahead.
Yep, the week ahead. And then also kind of the week in the past, what we've been watching, what we've been playing, stuff like that. So a little forward, a little backward in housekeeping. Then we got movie news, a little bit of anime news, gaming news. And that's kind of how we go with the show. A couple different things to go over today about different stuff. I'm really excited about most of my stuff that I'm excited about. There's one big thing in movies, I think, and then a lot of this game stuff that I'm really excited to talk about. So
What's the thumbnail situation look like?
the first one
People will know what the topic of the show is going to be if it's got a thumbnail.
The first one was just us because it was like, hey, we're doing this
Hey,
again.
look at us.
I'm trying to figure out a good way to do it because I want
guess we'll
us
probably
on
have
there.
to do like a photo shoot of our faces doing the
Oh
my God, can you believe
Blue Steel, all that different stuff.
Exactly.
And then I thought about doing
see that one much.
do some pictures on the green screen so that I could put the topics on the green screen a little easier. But we weren't able to do that for the first one. But I'm trying to figure out a good way to know.
I guess titles would matter more if this ends up becoming more of an audio podcast for people.
That's true.
Without a thumbnail, you got to read so.
Yeah. And
Maybe that's where it
so
is.
far the podcast titles that I've come up with are kind of like little tongue-in-cheek. Like the first one was New Podcast Who Dis. And then this
Nice,
one was,
classic.
Oh no, they're at it again. Stuff like that. But I was like, I should probably put in what is actually about in the title, not
God,
just in the description.
Before I laugh too hard at it, is New Podcast Who Dis? Is that an old person joke?
What do you mean? Like,
Well, because you get a new phone and all your stuff's there. Like, there's no such thing as I have a new phone. Who is this?
I guess that is just an old person thing now. I don't know.
Hear me out.
Go on.
Switch your phone number every phone. Still wouldn't matter. I mean, Shay has a really close friend that she only communicates with via Snapchat.
That's true.
And I'm like, you could log in on anything, mostly. Any mobile device you can log in. So if you're communicating via social media services or WhatsApp or any of those things, then it doesn't matter what your phone number is, right?
And even with Apple, wouldn't you
Think
use
about
your
James.
Apple ID?
James only messaged us via Discord.
That's true.
CGB only messaged us via Discord.
That's true. Yeah,
I get the occasional text, and sometimes it concerns me. I'm like, where are you that you have to text me?
So luckily, I put the right foot forward and made it immediately like an old person podcast.
I guess so.
Cool.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I thought it was a fun one. I guess I'm just out of touch with all the sayings now. Let's get into
realizing it
housekeeping.
now. I'm just realizing it now. It's nothing on you.
Okay, cool. Bit of housekeeping real quick. So the stream schedule this week. Thursday, me and Stokes will be playing Overwatch. We did a little bit of that already. And I'm ready to dive back in deeper. Actually, I wish we had played it longer. I want to really get back into the rhythm, know the maps.
What do you mean by
stuff.
longer? Like
that
like
day
earlier or more on the day?
More of that day. Because I felt like by the time we were wrapping up, I was finally getting into remembering how that game and like plays and the rhythm and all the different stuff about it. So I'm hoping a little bit more time into it, we'll get good. And then I also have to get good at Tracer. So it's not just
Tracer.
run out,
I'm
die,
done.
run out,
Tracer,
die.
Genji. Although sometimes, dude, we had so many flyers. You can't be Tracer
Ooh.
when there's that many flyers. You have to be like a soldier or something that can like hit scan in the air.
Yeah.
Like an Ash maybe.
Dude, the FARs were crazy. It was like every game I felt like.
Yeah.
It was
I
insane.
mean, just for counter pick, this one's not one where like it's rare that you really need 2 heroes at least, so in case someone takes your hero, I guess, unless you're going to be a tank main, then you're safe. But otherwise, it's just you need to have like types of DPS locked in for maps and for matchups when you need hit scan, when you
And
need
game modes?
Game modes, yeah.
Game modes too? Yeah.
Well, the game modes are the maps.
I
They
guess
have the
that's fair.
same name, but they're like a different spot on the map to be like, this is the walking section. So,
Yeah.
But anyhow,
Anyway, Friday will be a crazy day. I'm doing a bunch of Elden Ring about midday. I found out that I actually do already own Phasmophobia. So if people need me, I am on call, ready to be added into that for somebody else. So I might be playing Phasmophobia as well. And then at night, I think we're doing some First Descendant. Me, Bethany, Alec are going to start grinding that because we're finally all at the same place. Actually, I think Alec got a little
you
ahead of
didn't
me.
say M. Is she not playing?
She's not. She's gone this weekend. She's busy.
You did. say
She's
that,
out of
yeah.
town,
I was like,
doing stuff,
she
so.
she manned up and dropped out.
No, she's still in, but she's busy doing other things. So we're like, cool, you're getting left behind. So that's Friday.
Catch you up later.
Saturday, me and Alec are doing an all-day RuneScape stream. The quest for a fire cape starts. Essentially, already has started, but this is like the Alex making notes and figure out what objectives we need to hit in what order to get us.
Is that
going
going to be fun to watch? I mean, it's weird to question you on our own show, but I'm like, I know after watching you kill those fucking crabs with your phone, it was like, hey, touch that for me every once in a while. I'm like, that can't be fun to watch, right?
Luckily, I'm not doing that anymore. We're going on quests. We're actually doing things. We're gathering.
okay,
We're
you're
doing more
playing.
stuff in the
You're playing.
game.
That's
a lot of people love watching RuneScape. Again, Alex, the main RuneScape player. I'm just here to get the fire cape so I don't have to pay for a one wheel. So it's a little bit of that.
Nice.
But I think it'll be fun if he kind of helps me go through it and we can get a little bit deeper into the game maybe. And then Sunday, Sea of Thieves all day. Me, Alec, and Bethany again. Em's still out of town, but we'll be sailing the high seas. I don't know if we'll be doing, because I really want to do a full tall tale, but I don't know if we're going to do that then or we're just going to wait and maybe just get back into it. Because when we turned it on and played, there was a lot of things that were different, a lot of different menus to find different things and stuff. And I was like, oh, there's a lot easier to go and do this specific mission now.
Yeah.
So we might just spend a little bit more time in the menus, figure some stuff out, and really get more acquainted with how the game runs now.
Tangentially related to that, did you see the crossovers with Fortnite?
The Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said crossovers because I was going to lead in with Cybertruck and then tell you about the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Cybertruck.
Yeah, you know the Tesla
Oh,
Cybertruck.
yeah.
It's in Fortnite, or it's coming to Fortnite or
okay.
something. I was like the crossovers, but yeah, it's really just the Pirates one that matters.
Yeah. The Pirates one of the one that I saw and I'm pretty excited for. I actually just watched Dead Man's Chest last night. I put it on to go to sleep because I've seen it so many times.
Sure.
It's just a good begin. Like those movies have great beginnings that I've seen a lot, and then I fall asleep. The whole movie's good, but I just see him too much.
Okay.
All right.
It sounds like you're doing it to yourself. Like
I know.
You make
oh,
it
no.
sound like it's a song on the radio.
No.
something.
I definitely do it to myself, but I got to have something on the TV to fall asleep to. And actually, more last night, it was I'm going to turn this on because Bethany was finishing a show, and I was like, well, I'll turn this on so there's light in the bedroom when she comes up. And then I went to
So
bed.
there's light in the bedroom.
Well, yeah.
And you need a TV to fall asleep.
Oh, I need a TV to fall asleep. If you turn everything
It's
off,
not just
I
noise,
want-
huh?
Nah.
I don't know. I guess if you put on an audiobook or something. Not headphones. I know. I don't know how that would feel for you.
No,
you used to be an earplug guy, though.
I used to be an
You used
earplug
to
guy.
sleep with earplugs, which was fucking wild.
was really nice. When I slept during the day for night shifts and stuff like that, I slept with earplugs. Now,
But then when you slept during the night for a normal human shift, you also wore earplugs.
well, yeah, it just kind of carried over. But
Yeah,
with
well.
an audiobook, I can just stare at the ceiling and I kind of zone out, and then all of a sudden I just start thinking about all the things that I need to do or want to do, and I start creating checklists, and I can't fall asleep. But the TV's a little bit more interactive.
So what if you had the visual, no audio?
No, because eventually I'll close my eyes and I still need to hear something. Not a lot. I don't need it blaring. I don't need
Why
the TV
not?
like
Why not
watching.
anything from YouTube? Well, I mean, you're putting on the same movies over and over again. Like I do something similar. The thing that I like to fall asleep to, two, one, ASMR. I'm not always in the mood for ASMR though, because that can keep me awake. The second one is actually board game, like how-tos, how to play, or just unboxings or whatever. because I'm not there to actually learn the rules, but I'm curious enough about game mechanics that I want to hear something. So it's a little bit of that.
I don't know. I just never click on YouTube. Maybe because the TV. I don't even think the TV upstairs got YouTube set up because it's just like the bedroom TV. I never click on
you must
YouTube.
have like Apple TV connected to it, right?
No.
Oh, you're using the smart features?
Yeah, I'm just using because I only have one Apple TV and I move it to room already.
I was just thinking you're watching movies, so it's connected in some way. But
yeah,
I suppose
the
to
smart
itself.
Features. Yep.
I mean, YouTube's right there. Then it's probably got a YouTube button on your remote.
Sure, I'm sure it has the YouTube
I mean,
app.
there's one on this remote
but
right here.
sometimes it's not logged in, and then I got to go through the whole login process, and then I got to go to my phone, and I got to go, hey, it's me. I'm trying to sign in, do that. And
You had to get logged into Netflix once, you know? You had
Yeah,
to get
but
logged into all these other ones once.
But I think about doing those. I don't think about doing the YouTube one. I just don't think about it. It's where I go when I'm on my computer. It's what I pull up when I'm doing something on the computer and I'm active, but I don't fall asleep to YouTube.
You know, I'm just trying to do the typical thing. You sounded like you brought me a problem with I've seen it. It's too many times. You didn't say I've seen it a lot or whatever.
Oh, no,
you
no,
said
no.
too many. Like you needed this solved.
Oh, it's not
for
a
you.
problem. No.
Okay.
I do wish I had more
I mean, it might be a
movies.
problem,
I
but-
wish I did have more movies because I got all the Pirates, Angels and Demons, Da Vinci Code.
Wait.
all those.
You wish you had more movies like
that I could
just
fall asleep
under
to.
your belt?
Yeah, just like I could just turn on and fall asleep to. I think I do have a lot more.
Okay.
But I also wish Bethany had as many to match up with me because there's ones that I could turn on and fall asleep to, but I don't know if she's seen enough or whatever, and then I want to keep her up. So I got this finite amount that I got to pick from. Or always good to throw on Josh Gates. I'll watch him forever. Expedition Unknown.
We were just looking at the Michigan Paracon tickets and weekend and things, and we didn't see anything about her canceling, but we also can't find her on the guest list anymore.
Who?
Jessica Chobot. Sorry.
Oh, I was like,
I know. It's just
okay.
at her.
Her.
But,
I was like, oh.
yeah, Expedition X.
Yeah.
I think is what she's on.
So she's not on anything anymore, but she hasn't canceled. So it's like a.
Right. But I'm like, I don't. So, were you ever here? Yeah,
That's right on theme.
it is. It's also the 22nd to the 24th of August. Shay's birthday, the 23rd.
Whoa.
I was like, what do you know?
Look at that.
It might be a birthday trip. She's like, I don't know.
What? She's not into it now?
Well, we don't know if the people we went with last time are interested in going again.
You just want to just go by yourself?
I mean, I think the reason the other couple's not interested is I don't know if they thought it was worth it. And I don't know if we thought it was worth it. So it's like
okay.
the weekend pass is like $150 a ticket.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why I was like, oh, shoot. That's not like, you don't scoff at $150.
Yeah, it's,
let alone, it's not too far of a travel, but the travel up to Sault Ste. Marie, the hotel.
It adds up.
It
Ching, 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 ching.
definitely adds up. And then you got to eat food while you're there. You got to get the snacks. You got to whatever, all the gas.
And then when
It's a
you're
lot.
there, you're going to buy something, right? There's gonna
I
be something at the
better. I paid
convention,
$150
right?
entry
There
fee.
better be something
I
there to
better
get.
be leaving with something. Although those bastards, there was only one movie there the last time I showed up, and it was like a $30 DVD that's of something someone had made themselves.
Oh, really?
And I was like, listen, you've priced this way too high. You've clearly wrapped all of your production costs into this disc, not the production of the disc. You know, it was too much that I couldn't even do it.
wow, that's saying a lot.
And when it's I bet you that shit wasn't even on IMDb. You know, like I would have been pulling deep. I would have had to add custom files to my Plex to get the images loaded up. So I don't know.
Interesting.
But I skipped it. So they didn't have that for me. We ended up spending like another like $150, $200 on a piece of ghost hunting equipment
Okay.
the last time we were there. And I'm like, I don't want to do this again. I've learned from my mistakes.
Maybe that weekend, because there's a con going on, you don't go to the con. You just go and do a ghost hunt then. You just plan a good ghost hunt somewhere.
I like that.
add the
kind of
trip.
like instead.
Yeah, it's still a trip, but you can make it maybe a little bit closer, and you can add a little bit more involved where you're doing more stuff than just paying money to go see people.
Using last year's spoils.
Yeah.
I'll suggest it.
Okay.
We'll
There
see.
we go. With that, what have you been watching? What have you been playing? What's been the big thing? You got the letterbox pulling up here soon.
I know. I got the letterbox.
I have yet to do the letterbox.
You son of
I
a
haven't watched
bitch.
anything because I was going to do it as soon as I watched something new or watched really anything.
That's
but
true.
I haven't
Wait,
watched anything.
You finished the multicam. Twisters tomorrow. 110.
I think I can do it.
Shay's actually kind of sad that I'm going. But I told her. So Thursday, Deadpool comes out,
That's true.
which means Wednesday is the last day any of us can see this movie in IMAX. And the docket is just too full.
That makes sense.
And I'm like, I have to make. Shay, I'm sorry.
well, because
I'll
tomorrow,
just buy it later.
because
We'll
tomorrow
get
is
it again.
Twisters and then pickleball.
Right. Right.
the tomorrow night,
Exactly.
that's-
Well,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
and then Shay's working through the day,
Yeah.
which is funny because it'll be 110. She'll be eating lunch here all alone.
Oh,
And I'm
man.
going to be at Twisters and IMAX, baby.
All right.
Anyway,
I think I might.
think she still likes me.
I can't 100% say, but I should be able to do that.
Look at that. Popular films this week. Twister. Yeah,
Look at that. And we'll get into that with the box office, but
We will.
just a little bit. Not too much on certain parts of that movie news, but
I only watched 2 movies.
okay, hit me with them.
Twister,
Oh, okay.
the original. I'd never seen that movie before.
Oh, really?
Really. And it's funny. We're watching it for family night.
Yep.
It's my grandmother joins us. First time that's happened in many, many years. I've seen a movie with my grandmother.
Okay.
So, grandma,
Grandma,
mom,
mom,
Shay Derek Lauren,
the rundown.
new dog.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Everybody but Jim's there. And I get the movie loaded up. We're sitting down, and everyone, oh, I love this movie. Oh, that was your favorite part. Oh, and I was like, yeah, I haven't seen this one. And it was like crickets. They all just looked at me like, what? And then just explosions of like, I can't believe you. How have you never? What do you mean? What's the? And what did Lauren say? She was like, mark it down. The first time I've seen a movie, Jake hasn't. I'm like, listen, you've probably watched 50 to 100 more movies I haven't seen.
Right.
But I was like, I've watched 4 digits more movies than all of you guys. Like, this isn't that kind of competition. I don't know what's going on.
It's always,
and it was like, I also was like, this is the last time I ever admit to not seeing a movie. This is crazy.
It's always one of those things where it's like, if you're seen as a movie person and you missed one movie because it's something that you just like, I didn't really like. I just told Bethany recently, I was like, yeah, I never saw Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
And she's like, what do you mean you haven't seen Dirty Dancing? I was like, well, it's just, why would I ever put that on? That's not something, it's probably not made for my viewing audience. I'm not the demographic for that movie. Like,
Yeah,
I just
you were supposed to be the plus one in the original
and
demographic.
I didn't get added into that. I watched, if we're going down the Patrick Swayze route, I did Point Break. I did, it's like, there's 2 different routes you can go down.
Well, this is not just for you. This is for everyone else in the podcast. Skate Town, USA.
Okay.
That's all I'll say. Except I'll tell you who wrote and directed the movie. Nick Castle, the guy who played the original Michael Myers, who played the Shape in Halloween.
Yep.
That's all I got to say.
It's
like you hear that guy made a movie about roller skating, and Patrick Swayze, I'll also tell you, is the leader of the like rival skate gang.
Okay.
Fantastic.
But it's like every time you get shot with one of those movies, all of a sudden everyone thinks they've got one up on you, and it's like I skipped that one. But there's so many other movies.
There must be a threshold, right? At what point? Because I've loved movies since I was a kid, right? At what point am I have expected to have seen a certain movie? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was I 16 and a film buff, and they're like, "You haven't seen Dirty Dancing?"
Right.
And I was like, "Well, no, Mom hasn't showed me that one yet." You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I was hunting for movies at the time. Is it when I'm 20? You know, like at what point have I just caught all the movies that you've ever seen in your life, and then I have my own favorites, you know?
I feel like there was
that's always tough.
That moment in film school too, where it's like, all right, let me go watch The Godfather and Apocalypse. Like there's so many movies, like let me make sure I've seen all these, because if someone brings it up and I haven't seen it, I'm going to have to.
Well, funny enough, there are movies like that I studied in film school, but it was more of we're going to talk about dialogue. So we're going to watch this one scene from a Tarantino movie, right? Or we're going to see these 5 scenes. Here's how this director uses it in this one film. But we don't watch the movie. Sometimes I go, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I'm good. I don't, that's enough for me. I don't need to see the rest. But
there's also certain movies where people were like, oh, you need to see this. And I was like, you're right. That is a movie I should see because it's on a list or whatever. But then it's like, man, I just wish I didn't see that. Like there was no reason for me to see this. And it's like, I think you recently had it, but Saturday Night Fever.
Ooh.
That was one of those movies where everyone told me watch it. I watched it. I go, why is this a thing? Why was I told to watch this? How did I get here?
I think it's funny because when something gets referenced by other people enough, I think it's important to only understand the touchstone across 15 other movies.
Right.
But that's really it. Like, that's all I got from that movie. I was like, oh, it's the original.
Cool.
Oh, man, that movie was problematic, dude.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're supposed to be cheering for a rapist at the end.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I don't know if this is the call.
Yeah. There's a lot of movies we'll talk about. That one we don't recommend to watch.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
No.
Definitely
No.
not.
I mean, I suppose if someone told me they loved Skate Town, USA, for instance, I'd be like, okay, well, this is laterally connected. Like that. And if you're looking for the craziest double feature of all time, you jump right into the second Saturday Night Fever, which is, I think it's just called like Sweatin'?
Sweatin'?
Is that right?
Oh.
Hold on.
We'll double check. Fact checking.
Sequel to...
For my watching, while Stokes looks this up, I just want
Staying Alive.
Staying Alive.
Yo, the intro to this movie is crazy. You've never seen anything like it.
I have not seen it.
Well, that'll be an off-air thing because it's too powerful.
Maybe it'll be an intro that I watch, like a one scene. I'll do a film school watch, just the beginning opening.
Oh yeah.
Oh okay, cool.
Yeah, no,
I'm good.
It's the reason people watch the movie.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen a movie like that where you see the scene and then you're like, man, this one scene is the only thing that held that whole movie together, and it's what everyone told me I should watch it for, and they all quote the thing, and I was like, wow, I watched a whole movie to get something I could have just clipped off of TikTok.
There is, and as soon as you said that, I feel like there's 50 movies coming at me, but I can't pick any of them out of the air because I'm sure that happens so much, but I just can't think of anything right now.
Yeah.
A lot of weird horror, like I feel like Hostel is probably one of those where it's like they have this one scene.
What
that's
scene
like,
do you think of? I had one come to my mind. Excuse me. Hiccup.
Probably the blowtorch eye.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Well, depending on the length of the scene, I thought of cutting the eyeball off.
Okay.
Getting the Uzis.
Essentially, yeah, the eyeball.
But the eyeball bit.
That's like the thing where it's like, watch it for that, and then the rest of the movie, you're like, I guess I'm still here. I guess I watched it all.
I still really like that one.
Is the first one or the second one where they end up playing soccer with the head at the end?
Second one.
Second one? Okay. I mean, I watched them both, so I guess I watched them, but...
I said that so confidently. The way you pose these questions makes me second guess myself. I don't know. I don't know if that's your fault, but I'll put it on you anyway.
But my watching, I'm still getting through One Piece. Almost finished Shangri-La Frontier. I definitely recommend that anime if you're into anything that's video game related or isekai or anything like that. It's really, really good. I think I got one episode left. I just haven't clicked play and finished it up. But those are kind of what I've been watching, and then I've just been busy really just making sure everything's, now that Real Pixel is up and running and going, I want to make sure everything's staying organized.
Staying alive?
And we're staying alive. I was trying to work it in better for you, but I didn't have it. So
you got it.
But a lot of games and stuff. I tried actually playing the demo for Throne and Liberty over the weekend.
I purposefully did not ask you about that to try to catch it on this instead.
I played it. It was funny because I saw people playing and I went like, oh, that demo's out? Shoot. And so I went and downloaded it and tried to play a little bit of it. And I started playing enough where I'm like, ooh, I could really like this. And I was like, when does it come out? And I saw it comes out in like September. And I went, so you're going to turn off this demo and there's going to be a month without this game? I can't get too into this game, or I'm going to learn a bunch of stuff, then forget all this stuff. And when I get back to the game, I'm going to have to relearn all the stuff again. But I played enough of it to know that, one, it's beautiful looking, just gorgeous to run around the world. And two, it is the type of attacking that I like in MMORPGs. The
tab
more,
targeting.
Yeah, the more involved like combat rather than just click and just let it do its thing and then hit a button every now and again. There's counters. There's a little bit more to it than what I've seen in the past of other ones. People have told me that I should play or want to play, and really kind of like RuneScape, even though I'm playing RuneScape, but it's more involved and stuff like that.
Let's go back to point number one.
Yeah.
When it comes to RuneScape.
Looks beautiful, yeah. So I'm really excited to jump more into it when it comes out, especially because it's available on everything. Not everyone I play with has PC or has Xbox or has this or has that. So if anyone has anything and they're interested, they can play it. Should be free to play when it launches, so I'm very excited. Which means, there's going to be a bunch of ways to spend money in the game, a lot of cosmetics, a lot of different things you can get. But if you just want to sit and play, you should be able to, which is awesome.
No, they did a really good job. What's their name? NCSoft? Is that right?
I don't know.
I think it's NCSoft who makes that game. I didn't dig into it too much. I didn't even download it. Mm-hmm. But they make Guild Wars, which was originally you pay $60 to get the game, whatever. But then it eventually went free to play, and you just buy the expansions.
Yeah.
A great free-to-play experience. Mm-hmm. That game is now. So
that's what I've been doing. And then you said you had one more, I think, movie?
Well, also, I want to say on Twister.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
As we watched the movie, everyone was shocked with different things that were happening. And I heard a couple times man, I really don't remember this. And I was just like, I just wanted to be like, stop the movie and just say, fuck you. Why are you attacking me for not watching this movie? And you don't even remember it. We're on the same level here,
Shoot, I wanted to actually confirm this before I brought it up, but I completely forgot to do it. I saw a TikTok of somebody watching episode 3 of Star Wars on Disney, and
Oh, they changed something?
They changed something.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And the change was super cool. I was like, I really
it was
like this.
good?
It was good change.
I haven't heard of this change.
And I'm not a huge Star Wars person, so if this change happened before Disney, I'm not 100%.
I saw it for Friends,
Yeah.
actually.
Friends, and then big
Friends
thing was,
had a bunch of streaming differences.
Supernatural. Well, it's funny because a lot of people that watch Friends got DVDs. I used to watch all the DVDs, and the streaming Friends has a lot of scenes cut out because the DVDs were like, well, this is what we cut to fit commercials in. We're putting them back in. Streaming is the cut for commercials Friends. So there's a lot of jokes that end early on the streaming that were available on DVD. So when they're like, I thought I remember this, it's like, well, yeah, you watched the DVD. That's probably why you remember that. But for Star Wars, it's one of the best moments. Anakin's about to go kill some younglings. We all love it. We all hope
Younglings.
We love the scene. Yeah,
Sure. Yeah. Children.
The kid walks. I think they call them younglings, don't they?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
He's about to go kill children.
He's about to go kill some children. He walks up. Kid walks up. Master Skywalker, what are we going to do? That whole thing. And he turns on a lightsaber. In this scene that I saw, the blue lightsaber slowly turns red in his hand. And then the red light glows on the kid's face, and then it glows on Anakin's face. And I went, that's fucking cool.
That's like different.
Right?
Does his saber just become red in the normal movie after that?
I don't know
And
when it turns
doesn't
red.
the crystal determine the color?
Right, but I think I do think
And this is,
know.
I don't know shit about this.
I don't know anything about Star Wars either,
right?
but the scene was really
Kyber
cool.
crystal. I know
The
the
Kyber
word.
crystal,
I know
yeah.
the word. But because I feel like I remember there being the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, right,
Yep.
where you make the thing. Your crystal chooses the color, right?
Yeah, and everyone wants the black Kyber crystal. That's like the rare, because you don't pick it. You like,
Yeah, and you put it in and it all lights up and everyone figures
Yeah.
out what color they are. What do you mean by black? Like, does it light
There's
black?
I don't know what
does that mean?
I don't know what it looks like lit up, but there's like you could buy little plastic like gotcha things, and you try to get certain color crystals.
Sounds cool. Makes no sense lore wise. Hey,
Yeah, but it was so cool to see, and I wanted to check on Disney Plus if it's actually like that, and I completely forgot before stream. So I will probably do it afterwards. And if you want to go check, James, you should go check because I think it would be cool. But
it's funny that it would be cool, but as an outsider, I'm also like, is that possible? But just real quick, what color saber would you want?
That's really tough because like all the colors have pretty much been used now. Where before I was like, I'd like something that hadn't been seen before. So I used to say a lot of yellow because it wasn't like a thing, and then all of a sudden it is a thing.
Who uses yellow?
I think I believe what's her face from the new
Ahsoka?
movies uses yellow at the very end of
Rey?
Yeah, I think Rey uses it at the very end of the last one, Rise of Skywalker.
Sure.
I think it turns that. I think she uses yellow now, and I've seen now like all the colors have been used in all the different Disney Plus shows, and I've seen a lot of them now. But honestly, like a cool pure white one would be sick. Just something completely different.
Okay.
I don't know. There's in the inheritance cycle. There's a cool sword.
Wow, did not expect that.
There's
Paul.
a sword that actually the one of the old Dragon Riders use, and then it's taken by the big bad and whatever. His sword is pale white, and like the blade of the sword is white. And I was like, that would be so cool because then anytime you're like hacking and slashing, it's just getting stained. The pure white's getting stained by all the blood. I was like, that's such a cool visual.
That is a really cool visual,
So
actually.
I like the idea of maybe white. Obviously, it's a lightsaber. It's not gonna get stained with anything, but I think a white lightsaber would be cool. Did we go over the other movie you watched?
Nah, that was
we're
my
still
twist.
going?
That was me saying fuck you to my family.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do remember.
I watched the new Nick Cage horror movie on Shudder, Arcadian.
Oh,
the one
the
that
one we talked about.
We talked about. I was like, hey, it did come out last week.
Yeah.
Shay loved it.
Okay. That was a weird lead into when you're
Yeah,
like, I
well-
watched this movie. My wife loved it.
Yeah,
And
you
then
know, it's funny that because we'll watch movies and she'll go, yeah, that was good, to almost anything.
Yeah.
She's pretty neutral. If I have a complaint, she'll typically echo it and feel it, whatever. But this was a movie that she's like, I really liked that, which was just that's not usual. So there's
Did
something
she
unique
say it,
about that.
Like before you said it?
Yep.
Or before you had an opinion? Okay.
Yep.
So you get done with the movie, you turn, and she goes, I love that.
I bet you. I mean, we
really
probably
liked it or
said
whatever.
something beforehand, like that was fun, or that's
Whatever.
Because I don't know what it is, but I'm just more positive on movies. I think lately, which I actually realized I didn't say anything about Twister.
Oh, did you like
I
Twister?
just talked about telling my family to fuck themselves. I liked Twister.
Cool.
The music was insane. like if you watch that movie again, the soundtrack is just so much. It is so much.
Like Sucker Punch.
Oh, Sucker Punch is way more.
That's what I thought.
But this was one that I was like, wow, this is a really 80s feeling movie in 96. This is definitely like a why don't they make movies like this kind of movie. But anyway, that's Twister. But Arcadian, I think was directed by the visual effects supervisor of Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay.
Which, was like whatever, the 6-person team, won a ton of awards, did their thing. Great movie. I had a hard time kind of following the rules, which is never a fun thing when you have like alien invaders, right?
Right.
You're clicking around.
Sorry, I'm just clicking because we're going to have to switch the backdrop later.
No, you got it. So I'm never enjoying of that when I'm just like, how does this creature type work? What makes them tick? What's their purpose?
Anytime you're watching anything, I talked about this with watching certain scenes in One Piece when I'm like, this goes against the rules you've taught me since day one. And anytime any movie does that, if it's a horror movie, if it's anything, it's like, what are you talking about?
Anime is very upfront with he's able to do this because of X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And then coming in with the letter M through the middle, you're like, oh, sure, I guess there is the rest of the alphabet.
But they explain it. If they just throw it at you and they don't explain why something's happening, you're like, what?
Well, and movies, of course, they sometimes spell out the alphabet and then they go, okay, here's why.
Yeah.
This one, they never say why. It's not really about why. The why doesn't really matter. But what balances the scale the other direction is it is just these characters are so like Looney Tunes, but the movie is serious.
Oh, interesting.
They like one of the things the creatures do is they like almost try to like disorient you with sound by having these giant Looney Tunes jaws that just like snap and they like clap their teeth together.
Okay.
And it is so goofy. Their heads are, I guess if I had to compare them, it's like having like one of those like T-Rex heads on a stick to like pick things up.
Gotcha.
Like it's just a hinge and they just like really fast. And they are like little werewolf things. There's a couple scenes that you see them where they all grab onto each other and make a wheel and then roll down the road. But they're like mole
critters?
But they're like mole people. It's like critters except they're a wheel instead of a sphere.
Yeah.
Just absolute like I'm laughing while everyone around them is getting murdered, and I'm like, this is crazy.
Ridiculous,
like, what is going on? But their performances are pretty tame. Their purposes there are pretty fun, and it felt like a really comfy, low budget movie. Like it was made in Ireland, so it was also just really nice to look at. Very rolling hills, whatever. But
for them to roll down, obviously.
Why not?
It's right, they're right
Why
there.
not?
Yeah.
It only makes sense. Where else would these mole people things?
You know, it kind of this movie is not really anything like that, but certain scenes in this movie made me kind of think of that. You remember Attack the Block?
Oh yeah.
Sometimes the aliens just looked like Muppets because their mouth would open so wide and have that glow, but they were like black furry whatever.
Oh yeah, they had the like blue glow in their chest. I was like, man, what did they even look like?
Because they had blue glow.
They kind of looked like critters too, right?
Yeah,
they had like all that fur.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, they were bigger, right?
But they were like, the CGI scenes, and everybody's serious in it. It is like a serious alien movie.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
serious.
the
movie's a comedy, but
yeah,
it's not Shaun of the Dead. It's more serious.
But there'd be certain moments where they use probably like practical stuff to get the aliens, and I was like,
yeah,
that looks like a Muppet. Like it's just so funny to be like all of a sudden juxtaposition against the CGI, like really fast attacking whatever, and then all of a sudden that's a Muppet that's got a blue glowing mouth. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I would recommend Arcadian.
Okay.
Not to you particularly, to really anybody. It's so unique.
Okay.
These creatures, like, they've been shredding people to bits this whole movie, and then all of a sudden one of them kills them in a way that is like this is so fundamentally different from the way that any of them have been killed that it's like you wrap this sack around them and you start digesting them, but the sack came from your chest and you had to like transformers themselves into having this thing. I was like, what is going on?
Weird.
So it kept me on my toes. And if I remember, it's a short movie. It was like an hour 20 something. It
doesn't even
took
break the 90 minute
time. I mean, I don't want to say that for sure.
Right.
Wow, I can't find the time.
But it doesn't feel like it breaks that 90 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah, it felt like it moved pretty quick. Because when you read the synopsis, I won't say the whole synopsis, but it's the end. It's 15 years past the beginning of the end of the world. Nick Cage has 2 kids. They're supposed to be back by sundown because that's when the creatures come out. One kid doesn't come back by sundown. That's like solved 25 minutes into the movie, 30 minutes. I was like, where do we go from here? Everything happens so fast, and then it keeps the pace. But I was like, oh, okay. So it moves fast.
Cool. Thank you for stopping by, Sfeel. Really appreciate it. Hope you have a good night.
Sfeel. I had to give the fake yell once.
You ready to get into movies?
It's an hour 32.
Hour 30. So right on
with
the
the credits. With the credits.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Ready to get into some movie news and all that good stuff? Or did you have
I didn't play any new games. I downloaded No Man's Sky.
I haven't gotten into
it. I haven't gotten into it yet.
Cool.
That's it.
Hopping on over to movies. Look at the background changes and all that stuff.
We're in the theater. Smells like popcorn in here.
So this is where heartbreak feels good. So big box office news is Twisters does $80.5 million during the domestic weekend. I got that from Box Office Mojo. That's pretty good. That's a good weekend. I don't know what the budget for Twisters
what
was.
are their expectations?
Yeah, but for me, and when I hear that about Twisters, I go, that should be good, right?
Yeah,
hopefully
really? This is how
they didn't spend too much on Twisters to make that not a good weekend.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the budget for this movie. I can't see it anywhere. So I don't know what they spent for the.
There is a lot of advertising, like the trailer and stuff is like everywhere.
So when you consider the prints and marketing,
right?
For it, like how does it actually do?
That cast is also everywhere on talk shows, talking to everybody about anything, all the time.
That's true. That's true.
Or I was actually gonna bring it up later, but anything Deadpool and Wolverine feels like a movie that everyone's gonna see no matter what. But so much marketing.
$200 million for Twisters.
Okay, so I guess 80 million isn't.
Oh, no, 80 million domestic is crazy because no matter how well it does here, if it goes overseas, it does better.
Yeah,
and I imagine that they took off a lot of the messaging for the director doesn't want any messaging, but the second reason is maybe that's to send it overseas, right? So as the movie goes forward and foreign pushes through, I think it's going to do well.
Plus, it's going to get our money tomorrow, so we're going to really help them out.
That's true. The weekday goers matter.
Yep. Cool. All right, let's get into some trailers. We're going to go through some. We're going to do something a little different this time. First time we watched all the trailers, and it just felt like a lot of dead time and a lot of awkwardness, really, for the kind of flow of podcasts. So we watched them all previously, but I am going to pull them up and play them quietly in the background as we kind of talk about them. I think the one that's fresh in our minds, we just watched the new Joker trailer, so let's just start with that.
Which did come out today, did release today.
Yes. So
there's only one we didn't watch. I think they did another Deadpool trailer.
Another one?
Another one.
Jeez.
And, I'm hearing a lot of people talk about like, oh, the trailer that it reveals way too much. It does whatever. What we watched only had that little thing at the end with the hair.
Yeah.
We'll say. There's another trailer that was 4 days ago. Which, if I remember, 7 days ago, it came out on the day, right? Or was it maybe the day before?
Maybe the day before.
But it couldn't have been close. 4 days ago because we watched it on stream, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know what.
It comes out.
It's just
so close. Like it's
so
close.
Well, yeah, because the trailer we watched, remember?
I'm going to stop this trailer. We're not even talking about this. So.
Oh, that's true.
Go ahead.
Remember, it said in 10 days.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot it even said that. And this one is.
In 4 days.
It's just stop.
Well, for me, it's just if you hear the siren, I don't think you will, but the siren's on our end.
True.
So the big thing for me is you're seeing Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, and oddly enough, the director. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. I'll get to it. They're everywhere.
I always mix them up with Edgar Wright by name.
They are Sean Levy.
Yeah.
They are everywhere doing stuff, and it's interesting that they're actually bringing the director along. Usually it's just the actors, but he's also like part of the three. I've seen them do like one Canadian answers questions about Australians, and then the Australian answers questions about the Canadian. Sean Levy's just there, like in between the two actors, but he's still like added and part of it, which is cool. I'm like, oh, you guys must just be friends or whatever. It seems more involved than just like, we're gonna have to be all together and do this marketing. But there's so much marketing and so much stuff for that movie. I'm like, wasn't everyone gonna see this already? They're spending so much. It's crazy.
They have to be seeing the return on it, right?
They have
and
to.
The marketing is in. Everyone wants to watch that movie, people need to remember to watch that movie, though.
I guess so.
I mean, in a world where we're inundated with other Ryan Reynolds movies on Netflix and
Yeah.
everything else that goes on, especially considering like even political events that have happened recently or otherwise, like there's a lot of things to distract people from wanting to go to the movies on a weekend in the summertime, right? I mean, I guess this is when like football practices are starting to go and like life is starting to like catch back up to the fall, the summer's over kind of feeling.
But is an Xbox controller with an ass on the back going to get people in the seats to see? Like that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. It's like,
it's funny. I think they're spending the money to put that on there. I'm always confused, like who's paying who to get what on what?
right? Is Xbox paying this or that? Them paying
Because it's
Xbox?
like who's feeling like they're getting the extra thing here,
Right.
But also, you and I know Deadpool fans.
That's true.
They're different people. Yeah. You're different from your regular Marvel fan, or you're the like sarcasm loading kind of T-shirt sort of thing. That's the kind of person we're talking about. Those kind of people are like, oh, I want the controller with a butt cheeks.
Yep.
Like that's what they want. So they're gonna buy that, and they're gonna see the movie twice. You know, so they want to own Deadpool, be Deadpool, live Deadpool.
I am excited to see the movie. I'm getting to the point now where I've been thrown at so much with the marketing where I'm like, man, maybe I've already seen this movie. You know what I mean? Like, I hope the movie now lives up to how much you guys wanted me to see it.
I think what's going to save this movie is, as fun as it's going to be to have the Marvelization of it, the Disney effect of like, this one is actually just a trailer for the next one,
Yeah.
Which I do enjoy, even though I whine about it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Only when they spoil that in the trailer. But I do enjoy it. This one is different in that it is also just hilarious line by line, and it's rated R. So we're going to see something already different than we've ever seen with the Disney stamp on it. Like, it's just going to have a different flavor. So I am excited for it for that reason.
Cool. All right, let's get into trailers now.
Yes.
We're going to put back on the Joker trailer.
It's for real this time.
It's really going on. So we were kind of talking about, I don't really remember the first Joker very well. I know I watched it. I enjoyed it, but it's not like, I'm not a huge fan of it. I'd rather just like put Joker back into Batman movies and see him there rather than have his own story like this. But
yeah, I hear the both sides. I mean, because, there was the argument of like, well, is this just celebrating a psychopath? Is this like activating white supremacy within people? Is this just like the incel messiah? I can see where they would say that, but I think that's about people watching the movie wrong.
yeah.
So I'm not going to blame the movie for that. I liked it otherwise. I think it was stylized really well. Joaquin Phoenix was great.
I mean, it's the same thing as like when Taxi Driver came out, right? When you were like,
funny you say that, because the movie is, of course, Taxi Driver meets King of Comedy.
Yeah.
So it's just 1-to-1.
So
yeah, it's always going to be the eternal debate, but the movie didn't have any like consequences for that reason. No one's been like, I watched The Joker and I killed John Lennon. Like none of that effect.
And then I honestly didn't think we'd get a sequel because it felt like I have this story to tell with this character. Here's the story. And now that we're getting a sequel, I'm like, okay, and it's supposed to be a musical, but it doesn't really look like a musical based on this trailer a little bit. There's dancing and he sings, I guess, kind of like a few notes here and there, but it's not like...
it's funny because I can see the musical numbers, but they seem to be like there's 3 stages for it, and then a lot of it lives in his head. Is that right? Like, with the first movie, it was a did he, didn't he, what's real, what isn't.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an ending where he's in an asylum. What happened? I'm curious about that, but this is definitely Todd Phillips being offered a fuck you amount of money to do it again, and Joaquin Phoenix, and they're like, we're going to get Lady. He's like, if someone's going to do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that his passion was to make this movie. If it is, I hope that there's something super subversive in it, which could be just the fact that it's a musical, right? Like, who knows what the kind of story is going to be, but as I always say, what am I going to do, not watch this?
Yeah.
I'm going to go probably on a Thursday. If it's an IMAX, I'll go in IMAX. Like, I do the thing,
I don't know. I didn't watch the first one in theater. I don't know if this one will pull me to the theaters, but I will end up watching it. I don't know. It's not it's not the type of movie that I even feel like I should watch in theaters. You know what I mean? There's nothing about the trailer or anything that this movie's about that's like, I need to be in a theater seat to watch this. I need to be in the IMAX to watch this movie. It seems almost more like a movie that I kind of want to sit at home and watch more than be in the theaters. But
that's fair. I mean, I'm someone who I'll watch anything in a theater. I have it as like my preferred viewing experience with rare exception. So
But
I'll
hey,
be there. I'm excited to see it.
I hope for the people that
October 4th. I just saw the date on that. That's interesting. Just that's a busy month for watching movies for you and I both.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, there's a lot of movies coming out in October theatrically that are going to be smaller movies, but ones I want to see all the same.
Cool. Next trailer we're going to talk about is the second Beetlejuice trailer. I'm going to pull it up again once it'll be quiet.
I thought you were saying the second Beetlejuice trailer, but second Beetlejuice trailer.
Yes.
We said it 4 times. He's coming.
Oh, here we go. So it was funny. We were watching this, and you're like, "Oh, it looks like a lot of the stuff I loved from the first movie." Watching this trailer made me go, "Did I like the first movie? Like, I don't think it's bad, but I'm like, there's a lot of stuff here that I'm not excited about." And I was like, "That is really what the first movie is." I might not be that big a fan of the first movie.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think. I mean, thank goodness when people, even if it's the own creator, the original creator, like Tim Burton is here, when people redo their old work, especially whatever it is, 30-year-old work, there's a lot to be nervous about, and sometimes they can really flub it. So I'm really happy that they don't together exist dependently on each other, that if one fails, the other does, you know?
Yeah.
That, I mean, I think sometimes even the movies that come back, like Blade Runner 2049, I can prefer. You know, I can be like, oh, I really liked that. But this was one that I really did. It did reconfirm to me, wow, I loved Beetlejuice. Like I watched that movie a lot as a kid, and I enjoyed it for all of these individual, like the chalk outline bomb that blows up. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot like the chalk doorway. You know, like, oh, this is just, it's reactivating my brain. And who doesn't love Monica Bellucci, dude? Damn. Willem Dafoe?
Yeah, I mean, but this trailer almost didn't turn me off because I will watch it, but I was like, oh man, maybe I didn't really care for the first movie. But I always thought about that I did like the movie, but I can't even remember the last time I sat from beginning to end and watched it.
There's the natural affection towards, I watched it as a kid, it was funny. And it is, you know, publicly known as a classic, of course, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like the public hates this movie, so it's easy for you to join. I can see where you would then almost like self-confuse yourself to be like, oh, this is
everyone
this
likes
is something movie. I love. I love this movie. Yeah.
It was in Hot Topic when I used to shop there. Yeah, I love this movie. Like, the Stripes.
Oh, yeah, sometimes there are those though where I just watched Nightmare Before Christmas for the first time this last year.
Yep.
And I remember being like, man, people have bought way too many shirts about this. I've seen way too many tattoos about this. Like, it's just, I can't believe that this is the thing it is. But I watched it as an adult, so I could see where somebody watching, like someone younger watching this or the series for the first time would be like, what is this? Why is this?
And I'm usually a fan of Tim Burton stuff. I'm trying to think back into like the Tim Burton that really intrigued me the most, but it's
Ed Wood, Scissorhands.
Scissorhands was another one that I watched, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't know why people like it so much.
Did he do Sleepy Hollow?
Yep. I love Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to say the ones you like.
Sweeney Todd.
Oh, Sweeney Todd. I actually haven't seen Sweeney Todd. So.
Sweeney Todd's probably my top. It's a musical, but on top of that, it's just
I like a musical.
It's not shot in black and white, but it looks like black and white, and then the blood is like really pink and almost fake looking because it's very like theatrical, almost not theatrical, like theater more than.
I know what you meant by theatrical.
So I really like that, and so like, but I can't say. I guess I would say there's probably more Tim Burton movies that he made that I disliked than the ones I did like. And
what about his animated stuff? Corpse Bride, Frankenweenie.
I think they're all good. I don't put them on to rewatch, and I'm not really attached to them a lot. I think they are really well done and really cool.
I'm not attached.
And I thought Frankenweenie would be one that I like because it's very much like kids, but it's like Frankenstein. I thought it was a really cool retelling, and it was good, and I enjoyed it. But it's not. It once again didn't get me. Let me re-put that on. Let me rewatch it. Like
sure.
Oddly enough, it's completely different. But the first time we watched Moana and just saw the water, and I was like, oh I want to watch this movie again and again just because visually the way the story's told with the water and all that. Those movies don't hit me like that. Sweeney Todd, I skipped school to go see, and I watched it in theaters and all this different stuff. I love Sweeney Todd, but a lot of his other stuff hasn't really grabbed me. So, but I'm excited for the people that want this because a lot of people do want it, and I'm glad it's actually happening because how many years has it been talked about that it was going to happen and oh my God.
Yeah. I don't know.
For so long.
It's tough because you hear those. I try to not believe them until it's like production started.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, or there is a director attached, there's an actor attached, the production team's attached.
Cool.
So
The next one we have is Dune Prophecy. I don't know if we have to throw it up because it's a really short trailer, but
is it?
I think so. It's like a minute 16. We can throw it up and still talk about it a little bit. But
yeah, I guess it is. Wow, that felt like longer when we watched it.
yeah, I mean,
Not a bad way.
it's a show, if I remember right. Yeah, series.
It is a series,
and
as I said, this is Game of Thrones in the universe of Dune.
in the Dune world, which I still haven't finished the first Dune. I'm probably like 5 to. I'm actually probably 5 or 10 minutes away from the ending now. From before, when you're like, oh, it's almost over, and I went, really? I felt like there's not a lot in there.
Yeah, well, he said
Now
they crashed. I thought it was a different crash.
Yeah. And I still have yet to see the second one. It's a movie, and you like the way they're making these movies. I'm like, I can appreciate these are stellar, but the world and everything about the world just does not interest me at all.
Yeah, which is like if it doesn't grab you in the first one. I mean, a lot of people say the first movie is boring, but how many people showed up to the second one? You know what I mean? Did they just skip the first one? Maybe, but the second one's in the same world. It's just on the like other side of the Dune Hill, I guess. Like you're not in the city part of it. So I don't know, but it's tough because do I want another Game of Thrones like show? How much political intrigue do I want on a show that's going to be week to week? That's going to have 7 seasons. That's going to. I don't know if I want that anymore, but I do like the world of Dune, especially when there's that new MMO coming out for Dune. I'm forgetting the name right now off the top of my head, but
Honestly, if you would asked me before, I would have called it. I would have called it Dune Prophecy.
because Dune Awakening is what comes to mind.
Oh, that might be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with that coming out, it's like I'm going to just want to be like swimming in the lore all the time. It is Dune Awakening.
There we go.
They did have the Dune Spice Wars game for all RTS players out there. You dorks.
Whoa.
Sorry.
That's fair.
It's not us.
I
didn't call you a dork.
I think RTSs are great. I'm just awful at them, so I never play them.
Yeah,
I
think Breath of the Wild's great, and I hated it.
My mind can't figure it out. I played a lot of like StarCraft 2 and all that stuff.
Dude, if Halo Wars couldn't get you in, like nothing can.
Nothing can.
But swimming in the world, it's a good way to do it, and it's just like I don't know what it's going to be based on. Like I don't know if it's off of. There's no Silmarillion equivalent, right?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to be because it's all before, right?
That's a great question.
I mean, well, okay.
It would
How about
have to
this?
be, right?
It has to be because you can't just like have a part 2.5 before Dune 3 comes out,
right?
And then Paul really is going to fuck some stuff up. Like he's really going to ruin this whole universe.
It is a series, and you usually don't jump on series very fast. What is the likelihood
like
of you
I
watching it? Yeah. Because you are a big fan of Dune. It's a series, so it might not grab you immediately. What is if you had to put a number on it?
I think what might do it is friend of the show, Hokie.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a friend of the show, but he's a friend of me. Colin.
Okay.
Colin from afar, New York Colin. We
Yep.
call him Mr. New York. He, the Commiseration Council, as it's called, we might watch it to perhaps commiserate on it the week it airs. A number on it, I'd say probably an 8.
Okay.
There's a chance that week 3 I start it.
Gotcha.
But I'll probably be going week to week as it goes. So
Gotcha.
it's probably pretty high.
Okay. Well, I mean,
we'll see more. I don't know about when does it come out? Like, what am I doing around that time?
That's a great question.
What's my life look like?
I missed the date on it. But the next trailer, it's just a real quick one. I brought it up because
John Woo.
Called The Killer. It's action movie. If you ever seen anything John Woo, even if you haven't watched John Woo movies and you saw, which is essentially, but Mission Impossible 2, anything like that, like
which is essentially,
it's essentially
true.
a John Woo movie. Because for me, Mission Impossible starts with 3, and then you can start watching them. 1 and 2 are just like interesting, almost prequels. If anyone hasn't watched Mission Impossible, and I'm like, you should watch the Mission Impossible movies, I always say skip 1 and 2, start with 3, and if you want to go back to 1 and 2 later, do that. Some people have listened and some people haven't, and the people that haven't, it's to their own detriment because they're missing some great movies
I like to think
later
they're
on.
just pushing forward anyway.
Yeah. So, but this movie looks fun. It looks like action packed. It looks a little bit on the lower budget side, not like crazy, but just like certain fights, action scenes.
It definitely does look lower budget.
Less-
I don't know how.
It's like the effects are good and the fights seem intense and they've got good locations. They've got car stunts, all the different stuff, but it just doesn't feel as big And maybe it's just that I haven't watched a John Woo movie in a while. Maybe it's just I'm so used to the Mission Impossibles of now or all the different stuff that we have, the fast movies and all that, where it can't just be two guys fighting in a room, and that is a heavy scene. It doesn't have to be crazy explosions happening everywhere. Like I think through the Monkey Man, where they're in a thing and everyone's fighting all around them, and it's all the mood lighting, and there's gore and there's explosions and all the stuff's happening all at once. It could just be two guys fighting in a room, and that's still very cool, very exciting.
Yeah.
Spinning around, doves flying, all that stuff.
Doves flying, explosions, motorcycles.
Yeah. So I might check this out. It's on Peacock, which I don't think I have, so that'll make it a little tough. But eventually, I think
you can use my login. You still have a profile under my account.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I've thought you were logged in this whole time.
I'm sure on
there you
one
go. There's
device,
your confirmation. I don't check in to see what my friends are watching.
I'm sure on one device somewhere I'm logged in. I just got to remember what device I logged in on.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting. Your profile picture changed recently, so I thought for sure, and it's because I made it something funny. I made you a Muppet.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, he must got sick of the Muppet. I changed it back.
Okay, cool. I definitely didn't change it, so I don't know if there's
it's funny because it changed to something else, like actively. Like,
oh, weird.
It wasn't like, oh, here's Blob number 2 with a normal anon face. It was like a character. I don't even remember what it was from.
I ain't afraid.
I think it was from Evil, if I remember correct, the TV show Evil, which I know you haven't seen. So I was like, trust me, I was confused.
All right. So real quick before we get into the last little bit of trailer news, Terrifier 3 trailer drops tomorrow. So if you're interested in that series, we don't have it here. We don't have anything like that. But I believe a poster and the trailer drops tomorrow. So that's exciting. And if you're listening to this later, it's Wednesday, the 24th. So if you're listening or watching this later, it's probably already out and about. You should go find it. We don't know anything about it yet, but it's exciting that it's coming. We just missed it by a day.
We know it's a Christmas movie.
We know it's a Christmas movie.
And we know, I think her character named Sienna, Lauren Lavera's character. She's coming back.
Very excited.
Let me tell you, I know a little bit about this movie.
I was going to say, yeah. You're more familiar with it, but I just wanted to make
you haven't
people
seen
aware
2
that it's
yet.
coming. I have not seen 2.
I think
did
it's on my
watch
Plex.
Well, I don't try to watch your Plex because of the internet. It's hard for me to. A lot of it doesn't work very well.
I think I fixed that.
You think?
I don't know
Okay.
when. I don't know when you tried it last.
Oh, I haven't tried it in a while, just because I tried to watch one movie.
You probably
and went,
tried it.
okay.
Like, what about with the PC that you have now? Was it before then? Because your graphics card transcodes.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's like my graphics card's pushing.
Oh
a
no,
lot
I was
more.
trying it on. I was trying on Apple TV.
Well, yeah. My PC is different. Like I have like
it
a
was before my
$2,000
PC.
more expensive PC.
I see what you're saying.
That
now.
is transcoding faster, and I delegated part of my RAM to be a spot to like put the transcoded files. I have it wired. Like it's been going a lot faster. Colin, who's in New York, Mr. New York, he has been able to stream my 4K movies successfully.
Okay, I'll give it another shot.
The only person who can't is Nick, but he's on apartment Wi-Fi. Like a dork. Nerd.
All right, the next thing we got to talk about. It's so exciting. We're getting Zack Snyder's.
Oh yeah, we did kind of go backwards.
We did go backwards a little bit, but this is the red band trailer for Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon, the director's cut. As they say, Zack Snyder's true vision for this movie. 2 movies. I'm sorry, part 1 and part 2. Movies that me and Stokes were so excited for, counted down the days for. Watched the first one, and I think I enjoyed it, but you could tell that there was missing things from this movie.
Yeah, we were both pretty quiet. We were both like, I did express I didn't know this was PG-13. When we were watching, I was like, shit. All that murder that just happened, all that like attempted rape at the beginning. Like, man, they played that kind of soft.
They really beat those guys up. But then you see the trailer like this, and you finally seeing the Snyder come out, and you're like, oh shoot, this is what we wanted.
You like there's shots like that where I'm like, maybe I did see that before. There's with the robot, whatever, Anthony Hopkins. There's a lot of shots that I'm like, oh, are these from the same movies? Like,
right?
Is this possible? But it's to note that we never saw the second one.
We did not,
because we knew, because then they announced this was going to happen, and we're like, why?
Why watch the second part when this is on its way? And so. But just seeing this trailer, oh my God, the countdown has restarted. I'm so excited to watch this.
Well, and what's great about this, our countdown before was like in the triple digits.
Yeah.
It was far. Our countdown now is what, 10 days?
I'm going to say,
right?
it comes out on August
1, 2,
2nd.
3,
It's the 23rd
10
now.
days.
10 days.
All right, it's a 10-day countdown from today. And this trailer came out yesterday, right? Or 2 days ago?
I believe 2 days ago.
Yeah, so it's like, we've had like no time to be as excited, because we've also, I've had my my concerns of just like, yeah, maybe it was the world, maybe it was the character, but nah, dude.
No, I'm so excited. So director's cut, Rebel Moon, part 1, part 2 seems to be completely different movies. They even renamed them. Part 1 is now Chalice of Blood, and part 2 is Curse of
Forgiveness.
Curse of Forgiveness.
Which-
Scargiver was the original one.
Yeah, I'll say the second one was Scargiver. The first one
Was
something of the moon.
Child of something. Doesn't matter. These are the
Child
right
of
ones.
Fire.
Oh, I think it was Child of Fire.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, what, why?
They don't even match. Like, it's not even like slightly different. Like instead of being Child of Fire, it's not like Ember Girl or Ember Woman. Like it's just like Chalice of Blood is completely different. So I'm super excited for this.
Yeah, so sometime after we watch this, when someone goes, hey, I saw this on Netflix, is it worth watching? Or we mentioned it to someone, we'll be like, you got to watch these two, not these two. Why? Because they're actually the same but different.
Exactly.
I guess it's kind of like talking now about Evil Dead 1 and 2. People are like, wait, what?
Yeah.
With the second one, they're like, how is that? What's going on?
Yeah. I mean, it's anytime we say that Batman v Superman's a good movie, it's like, well, not that Batman. Or Justice League. Not Justice League. It's Justice League.
Yeah, that one's a little bit easier because it had enough talk about it, and COVID, everyone was looking at their TVs when that one was happening, right?
Yeah.
You know, but the Batman versus Superman one is a really interesting one to explain to people.
Yes.
That one does go deeper than just the cut, though. People still have issues with that.
Yep. Get into a bit of the movie news now that we're done with trailers. They announced the cast of the new I Know What You Did Last Summer movie, a new reboot. If you didn't know, they had movies. They had movies.
They had movies.
They also had a TV show. Very few people watch this TV show. I was one of them. That TV show was crazy. And the ending is still one of the most baffling things I've ever seen. It's just
for the better.
No.
Okay.
So there's not a second season, and it's a movie that is 100% just like normal. Like, it's not supernatural. It's not magic. It's not anything crazy. It's just a normal TV show. And then at the end, they're like, but what if there was, I don't know, supernatural voodoo?
But it's not canonized.
It's
right?
not canonized. No, I don't think it. I think they said the second season wasn't going to happen before the first season even finished. It goes against like kind of the whole like the person that wrote I think the novel or the original screenplay didn't like how gory and how like
she hated the first movie.
Yeah,
like,
and this movie this show just ramped it up and hate it. It's interesting. So I wouldn't recommend the show, but I'm excited to see more of it because I love the movies.
Well,
So-
and this one's got Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze. Like,
They're supposed to be coming back, which is very interesting. I don't know if they're coming back as same characters or different characters or what this is, but
they're the same characters.
same characters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not a reboot. It's like a requel. It's the Scream 5 thing. Scream.
Yeah. So
What
real
was
quick,
Scream 2017? What? No, 2019.
let's see. Can we? I don't know how to. I don't think we could read it from here.
No,
but
I saw it was Madeline Klein. It says Camila Mendez, right?
yeah.
And does that say Sarah Pigeon?
Yeah.
Tyreek Withers.
I believe the big one is she's coming from Riverdale. I love Riverdale, so I'm excited to see her get more roles.
Who's she?
She is.
That's not Madison Klein.
Oh, her real name?
That's Madison Klein.
Camilla.
No,
Camilla
Madison
Mendes.
Klein is a real name. Oh, you were wondering her real name for
Real or character?
not Riverdale.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about her Riverdale
That's
name.
why I'm
I don't
just trying to
know.
make
I've
sure.
never seen that show.
Camilla.
Well, okay,
Mendes.
now I gotta know what's her Riverdale name.
She's Veronica.
Oh, okay, I guess I probably could have told by that hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's exciting. I'd like to see her get because I mean I love Riverdale as a show. It definitely got less good near the end. It got a little wonky.
It
but,
loses it a bit.
I think the characters and all the actors and stuff are really good in it. So it's exciting to see that she's getting more work. And I want these teenage, who knows, the killer, Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, I want those to all come back. I want to have a renaissance of those movies. So hopefully this is the start of that, or at least a good one that I can put on and be like, cool.
Oh, what about The Strangers? Did you want what about The Strangers?
Nah, I don't like the Strangers.
What's her face in it? Apple Blossom.
That Cheryl Blossom.
Yeah, sure.
Is
that who it was?
Yeah, I'll watch it, but the Strangers don't fall in that same category for me.
Well, it's just because it's a teenager. It's I mean, she looks like a teenager. I guess she's got that very youthful.
It's
look.
just not. It's not the. Oh my God! Is one of my friends killing me?
Yeah,
you know,
it's not
it's
urban legend. It's not
Exactly.
Scream. It's not. Yeah.
So next bit of news we have the Jason Blum and this teases a new screenplay for the Spawn movie, which God, I wish we get. I hope we get this at some point.
Yeah. So it's called King Spawn.
King Spawn.
Because what you get is essentially a photo of just the front cover of the script.
Let's see, here it is. Yeah, this is the picture that they got.
Which of course this could, one, I don't trust Jason Blum with anything.
Can't trust the man.
Well, I don't know if I'll go that far, but I don't trust him.
I was just trying to back you up.
Thank you. Thank you. I love the support, but I won't.
Okay.
When's the last time you watched a Blumhouse movie?
I would have to go through and double check.
Because they've changed.
Oh, okay.
They've changed a lot. I think Night Swim was Blumhouse, right?
Yeah.
Which we weren't double thumbs up on that movie.
No.
But we were like, everyone's really hurting this guy.
Really
pretty
hated
hard.
it, yeah.
I was like, take it easy. But yeah, I mean, recently it was like Imaginary. It was Megan.
Oh, I liked Imaginary. The one that's like Stephen King. No, that's not Imaginary. What's that one? The Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman.
Boogeyman. I was thinking Boogeyman. Sorry.
I think they did the Boogeyman.
I like that one.
That's fine. Yeah. But Imaginary is like the teddy bear.
The teddy bear.
Yeah, I forget what they call the teddy bear in that one.
That was another one where I saw the trailer too many times somehow, and I didn't even go to theaters that much, but I saw that trailer every time. It was
just my imagination.
Which was great the first time I watched
really
it,
cool.
and then I went, oh man, I see this trailer a lot all of a sudden.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Oh, whew.
Anyway,
yeah, so I don't know if I trust it, but also getting a photo of the front of a script. This is the thing of like when we talk about we forgot this movie was happening. It's a will they, won't they. We're still in the will they, won't they. This is not a confirmation of anything.
No.
This is the kind of spot where you end up getting 3 more directors because of creative differences, or your lead actress drops out because of schedule conflicts, or like all of this stuff is so preliminary. And we joke that's a white script. You know what I mean? There's at least 8 more colors to come of that script, right?
Yeah.
Is the title locked in? Is whatever, but. I don't know how true it is, but having seen a bit of Jason Blum's social media, he seems like the guy who he's running the company. So, I think this movie's going to happen. I'm going to take a photo of it and fucking post it. There was no marketing ploy.
Yeah.
There was no whatever. He's just like, I'm going to do that.
I meant to bring it up when we were talking about Deadpool and Wolverine that comes out this week that we're going to see tomorrow. Remember how Deadpool just
2
not
days.
Tomorrow, 2 days.
I was like, well, hold on.
Do you remember when the first Deadpool movie got made because footage got leaked from like around Comic-Con, the test footage?
Yeah, I remember that, but wasn't that like 8 years before the movie or something? Wasn't that like long before?
Well, I just know that the leaking of the footage got the movie to happen, but it's just like.
Oh yeah, I mean, I do remember Ryan Reynolds was pushing for it real hard, and they gave him the character in Origins Wolverine.
Yeah, and it just didn't go anywhere. And then they shot that footage, and then didn't hear anything, and then it got leaked out, and then that's why we got the movies. But it's just weird to think about that a leak like that got us to where we're about to watch Deadpool versus Wolverine, where it's by all intents and purposes
like a flagpole.
Yeah, it's a big, huge thing, and for all intents and purposes, it might be Deadpool killing a Fox universe or what it kind of entails and all. It's just like crazy that it all just came from leaked footage. It's weird.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah,
leaked footage was great too.
Yeah, it was great.
Like full CG,
and the fact that they used that kind of. They didn't do the exact same thing, but they used a lot of it in the movie.
Yeah.
They kind of did. Worked great. Because they're like, oh, you like that? We're going to do that again, but we're going to add more to it. They didn't just go, oh, you like that? We're going to do something different now that we've got money to do something.
I caught Shay watching Deadpool not too long ago. So I sat and watched the last half with her. And I forgot how much smaller that movie feels than I remember.
Yeah. I don't know if it's true, but I always heard that the final fight they went to, the reason why Deadpool forgets all his guns and it's just a smaller fight scene is because they started running out of budget, or they started pushing the budget, and they're like, nah, you can't do as much as you want now, so they had to pull back at the end.
Oh, funny.
And it was just like, oh, I don't know if that's true. Could be completely bullshit that someone spewed online one time and I just heard it and went, oh, that's kind of cute, and I just remembered it for some reason.
There's so many of those TikTok fun facts that aren't real. It's the
1,000%.
balloons, the Cleveland balloons.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like sometimes there's just a story that everyone spins out of control, and somewhere AI got a hold of it, and now it's an article you can find somewhere.
Yep.
Anyway.
So, but yeah. So
I mean, what do we got? We still got a few things. Okay.
We still got a few things. Then the next big thing that I got, I'm just kind of going through this so we don't have too much sitting up here that I keep forgetting about.
Oh, sure.
First look at Dexter, Original Sin. It is the prequel to the Dexter show. I don't know why we're getting a prequel to the Dexter show. I like Dexter a lot. I like the ending to Dexter. I didn't watch the whole new season of Dexter.
I didn't watch
New Blood.
any of the new season because the stinger at the end and everything too. I was like, yeah, okay.
I love.
I'm glad
the show.
I'm glad they paid that off in some way. The stinger at the end of the base season.
Yeah.
I'm glad that there was still something else, that they didn't really lie about it.
Right.
But I didn't watch it, so I don't really know anything about it.
I didn't watch it, but I love the show.
Do you remember the box set for that movie? How
Yeah,
the
the
series
wooden
was
box.
sold? Yeah, with all the slides were the discs.
Yeah.
That's just a cool thing.
That's great.
I just remember that now. That's
I
really
love
cool.
the show. I don't know who's asking for a prequel
We get enough
of.
flashback
Yeah.
stuff, right? Like,
It's interesting.
I don't know. And so it is a new person playing Dexter, so
Yep.
that it can be perpetually younger, of course. But it's a new Harry too, right?
Yeah, it's
So-
actually what was the name?
Christian Slater.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a name that I know.
Wow. Okay. That's great. And there's a Deb. I'm gonna
Yep.
type in. It says Molly Brown.
Yep.
Molly Brown. I just want to see what she looks like
Yeah.
because Deborah's got a very specific look.
And that's the thing is, there's so many flashbacks throughout the show, especially with Harry and Dexter becoming a killer. It's like, what a weird. I don't know. I don't know who this is for because I, as a big fan of Dexter, didn't ask for this. I'm not saying I don't want it. I'll probably check it out, but it's like,
Well,
it
mean,
seems weird.
you're not going to. If you didn't watch New Blood, right?
I think it's called
If
New
you
Blood.
didn't watch that, why on earth would you go back? You didn't, in a way, finish his story.
To be
right?
fair, yeah, I didn't watch. I
I
planned on-
didn't either, but
So,
I watched the whole series.
here's the
I
thing.
I owned the kill shirt.
Here's
I
the
was
thing
Dexter
that
for Halloween.
happens with shows like this, or specifically what happened with Dexter. I had all the Dexter done. I went, New Blood's coming. I'm so hyped. Bethany went, I never watched Dexter. I was like, well, we got to bust through Dexter so we can watch the New Blood.
Yo.
And then when I resat through all of it and I got to New Blood, I went, man, I'm really exhausted from watching this show. I don't know if I want
Wait,
to
you
watch
did
the
do
new-
all of
Yeah.
Dexter again? What the fuck is wrong with you? That's crazy.
Yeah.
You
And
know
it-
what
it
I
just
do? I
wore
go,
me out.
Shay, haven't seen it? All right. Do you want to? Go ahead.
No, I
Go
watched
watch
it all
it.
again.
That you guys should maybe try doing something separate,
We do a lot. It's just,
Oh,
it
yeah,
was just,
sure. Sounds like it. You just binged a whole series of TV show. I mean, what is there, 8 seasons of that show?
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, there's certain moments I want to be there for. I want to be there for the end of season 4. I want to be there for the end of season 6.
4.
This is Trinity Killer.
I
season
thought 3.
4.
I guess maybe because Trinity's 3. I mean,
Yeah, no, Trinity
Yeah,
is the
that was the moment I thought of.
Yeah.
And then you said 4 and it threw me off. But yeah.
season 4, season 6.
That's another one of those things that's like, the things I love about the show are scenes.
Yeah.
I
Even
mean,
season
it's-
1.
That's how TV shows are, I think.
Yeah.
But,
No, but I don't know.
it's my favorite show, period. Fargo
Uh-huh.
has a 5th season out. I have to watch, but they're non-chronological, cumulative, whatever.
Yeah.
You can just pluck them out of time and watch them. So whatever. But I was going to start it recently, and Shay's like, "Oh, I'll watch with you," and I was like, "Oh, no, I'll wait. That's fine." Like, not wait for her to catch up, but I was like,
Right.
"No, I'm just going to watch it by myself because I don't want any questions."
Oh,
Because they do tie things together, and if I start laughing at a joke that you shouldn't have laughed at because I know the thing they're talking, so I'm just like, no, that's fine. But I'm just happy to watch things solo. And I told her, if you ever want to watch it, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a go ahead person.
Yep.
Like, if you want me to be there, sorry.
Yeah.
Mostly, there's probably something I would rewatch, but a TV show, nah.
I mean, I rewatch a lot of TV shows, though.
Like we were just talking about because Alien Romulus is coming out. We didn't get to it in trailers. There's a new trailer that came out for that.
I didn't want to watch a new trailer. I don't need a new trailer. I'm going to see
Yeah.
Alien Romulus. It was an ad in front of a Twitch stream that I was going to watch.
Oh.
So I ended up seeing it. And I went,
You
"Holy
watched that
fuck,
trailer?
This movie looks so good." Yeah.
The whole trailer?
I don't even know if it's a trailer. I just saw new
So
footage.
I saw a bit of it because it was tied to another show that I watch. They just showed you watch like multiple character deaths, and I'm like, there's only like 5 of you.
Right?
Why the fuck is this on screen? Like I left it mad which you can't blame Fetty. You
Right.
can't blame the actors. You can't blame the production. You can't. Blame, but I'm just like, God damn it, dude! Like I'm just so sick of this, and I kind of caught it by accident. All the same, Shay, I asked her which Alien movies she's seen, and I haven't seen all of them. So I was like, hey, what do you want to watch? So it sounds like tonight, after she's done with Derby, we're done with this. We're going back home. We're watching Aliens because we recently watched Alien again. You watched that, or you were it was what, a year ago?
Yeah,
that I rewatched it. So we're gonna watch Aliens and then just go forward.
It was just so funny because you said, which ones have you missed? And I was like, oh, which ones he's going to jump in on? And you said Aliens. I was like, that's a second one. I was expecting a Prometheus or Alien Covenant or like something.
We're going to
later.
watch all of them.
Just
again.
watch them all?
But
Gotcha.
we already watched Alien about a year ago. And it was like, well, we don't really need to see it again. So we're just going to go forward chronological by release.
The plus side, so usually when horror movies show you deaths, they usually have a beginning of the trailer where they're like, this is this character, this is the character's best friend, this is this. So when you see their deaths, you're like, oh, that's this point. This is probably this part in the movie because that's who that character is. I don't know anybody character in Alien Romulus. So I have seen what I think is going to be character deaths. Luckily, that could happen in the first 2 minutes because I don't know any of these characters' importance. So that helps it a little bit, but I do think the first trailer was perfect. That's all we needed. That's all anyone needed to go see Alien Romulus.
Yeah, not the teaser, but the first 2-minute trailer or whatever it is. Although I will say there's one thing in this trailer that has me more excited. I wish they would have put in the second one. Do you know anything about, tell me what you know from this Twitch trailer you saw?
The Twitch trailer, without
moments.
Without moments?
It's like a story moment.
A story moment. I don't think anything.
From what it seems like, because again, I was very loosely watching this, trying to avoid some of it. It sounds like they're going to a ship that was obviously attacked by an alien, but for a heist.
From a heist?
To steal stuff and leave.
I do remember.
This is our ticket. This is our chance.
But I thought it was we have 5 minutes, or we have to be in and out in whatever time.
They have to be in and out, but it's I think because they're stealing something.
Oh, I didn't get that.
I don't know if they're being
trailer.
hired by a company to professionally do it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's funny because Fede Alvarez, he's probably made more, but of course I only know him from Evil Dead, Don't Breathe. And Don't Breathe, they're breaking into a man's house to steal from him, but I'm on their side the whole time because I'm like, or I'm at least on, what's her name? The lead actress's side. Mm-hmm. I'm on her side because I'm sympathetic towards her or whatever. I think I'm going to have that same kind of feeling.
I thought, when you said that, I didn't know anything about a heist, but when he's like, we got to get in there and we only have a certain amount of time, I thought it was going to be much like the first one where they respond to a distress signal. And it's like, hey, they're only going to be in our area because the ship's drifting or whatever, because it's on a ship instead of them going to a planet like in the first one. It's like, they're only going to be in this area for a certain amount of time. We have this window to hit, get on the ship, figure out if anyone needs help, and then get off. Because I thought it was more like that. Heist sounds really cool.
I love
really
a heist.
Get any reason to get them on the ship. I'm in.
I really don't even care.
No,
what do I need? I don't need one.
If the door opens and they're like, "Cool, we're checking this place out," I'd be like, "Yeah,
that's it.
That's awesome."
The opening credits is them walking onto the ship. I'm like, "Sweet, you're here.
I'm in.
I'm here too.
Yep, I'm here.
Here we are."
Dude, that movie looks so good.
Yeah, the shots because this trailer had the little alien tentacle sticking out that said from Fede Alvarez, and then it's the red backlight that says director of the Evil Dead, and it's got that. And I was like, God, that's so cool. God, he did direct that movie. He did. I love that movie.
A little bit of movie news that don't have any articles or anything like that. Real quick one that I threw in here because I thought I love musicals, and there's a lot of musicals that I've listened to the entire soundtrack for and never got to see because I don't get to go to the theater a lot because, one, there's not really a theater near us, and two,
not that kind of theater, at least.
Yeah, it's expensive, so I don't just go to them. But apparently A Knight's Tale is being turned into a musical, and it's going to be in Manchester next year, which is really exciting. They're going to use what they said is a lot of different pop and I forget the other word they use.
Hip-hop.
Whatever type of music,
and rock.
But they have not revealed any songs yet. Obviously, if you watch A Knight's Tale, there's modern-day music in it. So they're probably going to tie in a lot of the songs they did use and then also add in some other stuff to tell the story of that. But I love A Knight's Tale. I think it's a great movie that's just a fun romp, and it works perfect for a musical. I'm really excited. So that was just the thing I saw today.
It's so funny you say it works perfect for a musical. I just don't. I don't think I'm like, what makes for something to be a good musical? I don't, because I've seen so many things become musicals.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's good, what's bad.
Well, for
just
me,
like any story could be, but also if you're like that's a good one. I'm like, I believe you, I guess.
well, for me, it's if you look at like the beats of A Knight's Tale, you have the "We Will Rock You" section. So there's already a song kind of built into the actual art, the sport of jousting, and then there's the whole dance sequence where they do a dance, and I was like, that's an easy music number right there. The one character's Paul Bettany's speeches, I'm like, you could turn that into songs or into just lyrical like talking, and there's like another song or another thing like that, and then you got the whole ending where he gets knocked off the horse and he's like, you've been found weighed and like found guilty, and he's like in kind of like them talking to him as he's floating. I'm like, there's another like it's just like you could see scenes turn into musical numbers pretty easy in that movie. So, and then when he goes and sees his father as a kid and stuff, and his father's blind, so then he can hear it. Like it just makes sense for me that movie could be a musical.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. Needle drops is an interesting thing to mention. I'm like, yeah, I guess.
But it's not like a needle drop because it's like they're actually pounding and singing the song. It's like the characters are singing. It's not like, it's not like Baby Driver that he turns on the music and starts driving the car. It's like, no, this song is them singing. These peasants know Queen. That's part of the movie. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited. So it's going to be until next year.
So you're excited to likely never catch it.
I'm
guys don't know
the
this,
soundtrack.
but I've heard 7 different new musicals of things you love coming that you're excited for, that I'm like, how do you get to enjoy this? Stop looking at this.
The soundtracks come out and I get to listen to the soundtracks.
Stop hearing this news.
I get to hear the soundtracks. There's actually, I won't get into it. There's a whole series of musical based on like the Iliad and Troy and all this stuff that's really cool to listen to.
That is cool.
Yeah. There's a whole thing behind it. I'm not going to get into it because I don't know all the details and I would misquote it, but there's like a big thing about it. So maybe I'll look into it a little bit more.
I'd watch Lin-Manuel do an Iliad.
There you go.
That'd be sick.
That would be cool.
That'd be so sick, actually.
So the last little bit of news that I think we have for this section, I'm double checking the notes. Yeah. So the Halo TV show has been canceled after 2 seasons.
Oh no.
Oh no. I would say
that's all it gets.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big Halo fan. I watched the first 2 episodes of the show and scenes.
Well, now that you know there's only 2 seasons, you gotta watch it all. You gotta just drink, dude. You gotta take in what they're giving you.
You know how? Remember the trailer for the 2nd season came out and it was the fall of Reach and they were talking about it and it's like to rise again we have to first fall or whatever, and I was like, there were scenes and I was like, man, do I want to watch this? It looks so cool.
Well, what I remember. I was like, I do remember these moments, but not what you just said. I remember watching the trailer and it being like, he's just walking around in a cloak.
Oh yeah. Well,
like, what's he doing? Why do I see so much
stuff
of his face?
aside? When you saw all the elites like in the smoke, like visually, there were so many cool moments. I was like, man, that is really cool.
See, that's another thing that like, it should have had the Deadpool treatment. We got that fan made thing forever ago where it shows them like building the snipers, you know, and then they have the like body cam footage, like the almost District 9 kind of footage. That guy catches the needler to the shoulder and pins him to the wall.
The ad
that's what we should have got.
That was the Halo 3 ad.
Was it?
What that was, yeah. It's literally at the end of it. You see the pod is dropping. Master Chief's pod is dropping. We're in the third.
But
game.
It wasn't like. Was it a licensed ad?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I don't. Remember
it was like an actual ad.
I thought it was a fan film.
No, I'm about 90% sure.
That's pretty high.
That it was like an actual ad that was, I think, going to lead into
like an ad that
for Halo.
Does
3.
it have a stinger at the end? Does it say like
it's Halo 3 and
right,
finish the fight and all that?
I'll look it up then.
I'm pretty sure. I am pretty sure on it. Maybe they change, like people have added to it in the years, but when I went back,
no,
I'm pretty sure
mine was not additive for sure. So. But yeah, I'm not going to be doing.
But the Forward Unto Dawn was a good one too.
The one.
That was also really good.
Forward Unto Dawn. Oh yeah.
The movie show. I think it was a movie. Forward Unto Dawn. No, it was like a mini series. Is what Forward Unto Dawn was. But then there was Halo Legends, the anime stuff that was pretty cool. But so we have had good Halo stuff. It's this show is just not it. They just did a lot of very questionable things. But anyway, season 2 I was kind of excited for. And the second one, come to find out, I think the fall of Reach happens off screen. I don't think you even see it. It's like you're in the world while it's happening, but somewhere else. And I was like, that's just crazy to me. But I don't know. I haven't seen
somebody 2 years ago commented. So this video is 12 years old.
Yeah, old video.
Someone 2 years ago commented they're trying to rescue Master Chief from Paramount.
That's great.
Pequod YV1IV. If only you knew.
If only you knew.
They come around.
So hopefully,
Bungie currently has 666K subscribers.
Hopefully, Halo, it takes some quiet time off to the side and maybe it gets in different hands and we get a good project like the Fallout show or The Last of Us or really all these video game shows I haven't watched that I hear are good. So hopefully it gets that treatment later on.
I thought you did watch Fallout.
I watched the opening scene of like the actual bombs
online.
going off and I was like, this does look good. I don't know anything about Fallout, but this looks great. I don't know anything about it to have any attachment or any desire to watch it, but it looks like it's good and people have liked it, so that's great.
I was just cleaning up my desktop a bit yesterday, making room for No Man's Sky, thinking about this Throne and Liberty game, thinking about some games we got trailers for. And I have Fallout 76 on there, and I was like, when am I going to play that? Why do I have this? And I remembered watching the show and Shay being like, we should do it. Let's play it. Let's get I want to go find the Mothman. And I hopped in. The game was actually like a ton of fun. Like I really enjoyed it. But Shay has never once opened that game. And like we had to wait. We waited till like a fall sale or a spring sale, whatever sale it was. Got it for like $9. So we actually paid something for it and just nothing. Minecraft. All day, every day.
I haven't watched The Last of Us show, which I've heard is also very good.
Yep.
But everyone talks about now we're finally getting good game adaptations. I stand by that Warcraft was a fantastic game adaptation. So I was already in the boat that we had good game adaptations.
That wasn't that long ago, though, right?
Not too long,
like
but it was still before the time people thought video games could be done.
7 years?
I also like Doom. It's not a good adaptation, but it's a fun movie.
Good movie and good adaptation,
Yeah.
A little different.
A little different. And then what releases this week? We've already talked about Deadpool and Wolverine comes out this week. That's probably the biggest thing.
Be there, be square.
Yep. It's the movie to see probably for the whole summer, right? It's probably the thing.
Did you know that those Dune popcorn buckets are like actually expensive now?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't look at one and go, I want one.
Right.
Like it's not like a collectible. I'm like, I regret not getting that.
I did see someone review the Wolverine Deadpool one with the Wolverine mouth, and there's like an actual like rubber thing in his mouth
to stop the popcorn.
I was like, oh wow, that's like way more involved than I thought.
I mean, the Dune popcorn bucket had that,
but it wasn't it was part of like the sandworm to have that, right? That was like, it was the
teeth of the sandworm.
This is like it's like the 4 triangles like rubber.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, that's so
I guess probably because they can't make a thematic,
I know, but like, why even have it? Just make it be a hole. It doesn't matter. Usually popcorn buckets are a big hole. Why is there anything in the way of me pulling out the popcorn? It's just crazy.
I don't know. That's fair.
And they added a tongue.
So my hand could barely fit in the Shai Halussi.
Yeah.
But when I finally got the popcorn in my hand, I pulled it out and all the tentacles reached into my hand and like pulled the popcorn out. And
broke it. And
I was like, how do I get this out?
Yeah.
And it was Bastian who's like, this is a terrible experience, but I love the bucket.
I love the bucket.
I was like, sure. Did you see the alien bucket?
No.
The alien Romulus bucket?
Uh-huh.
I'll pull it up for you real quick.
Okay.
But I think it's only at what's it called? Cinemark.
Oh, okay. Yep. Cinemark does a lot of them.
Which makes me really sad because this bucket is just a giant xenomorph head.
Oh, and you actually just pull it out of the top of the head. It's not.
Yeah, like you can see the lever.
That is cool.
It there. But I'm like, look at the size of this thing. Like you get to see it's got really, really nice paint job on there and everything. But this is one that I told Shay, I was like, I'm not part of the buy the popcorn buckets because they're collectible or whatever.
Right.
But this one is like, you could actually, because now I have movie shelves. I finally got some. I got them built. I got, I've got stories about those things.
Okay.
From before. You heard them already.
Okay.
But
oh yeah.
Yes, like how things happen. But I was like, how am I getting pushed to the bottom of this list? But that's a thing that could sit right on top, nice and easy. I'm like, this could like sit on a shelf.
No one would even know it's really a popcorn bucket.
No, and that's why I'm like, I guess it's like they did the Ecto 1 too. I think Cinemark did that.
Yeah,
it was like that's just the replica of the Ecto 1.
They had Dom's whatchamacallit?
The
Camaro,
Chevelle, I think.
Chevelle, whatever.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's his car. They had his car at
and the Barbie car.
That was at AMC.
That was at AMC.
Yeah. The I don't know. I wouldn't have got the Ghostbusters one, but this Alien Head one is one. I'm like, the Alien one is really cool. Can I order this? Like, is that something I do? But yeah, I don't know.
Last little bit, the Olympics are going to be in theaters, which is kind of cool. Opening ceremony, and I think certain events are going to be watched along, which is cool. I mean, theaters have to do something because I know they're hurting. Like it's like movies aren't as big as they used to be, especially post COVID and stuff. So to do stuff like this, I think is cool. I'm excited for the Olympics.
Is that still like the thought? I mean,
I think so.
COVID hurt them. We all know that. Like that.
Yeah.
A lot of things were hurt by that. They're still hurting?
No.
Well,
Yes,
I mean, I think you're right to say I would think so, but like, are they? Because I mean, there are so many movies doing such bonkers numbers.
I mean, I don't know.
People are going, right? Like, I don't know what hurts. I mean, are they hurting any more than pre-COVID, like with Netflix and things like that?
I don't know. I guess we could look into it a little bit more.
I'm curious because they seem to be doing fine, and they're with things like this popcorn bucket thing. Like, how much money did the Shai Hulud popcorn bucket, Dune bucket, make for AMC?
That's true.
And I don't know. It's just I imagine the margin's fucked on that, right?
Oh yeah, probably.
So who knows?
We'll see.
But I don't know. I know so many people who are still scheduling things for movies. People have like, oh, did you watch this yet? And I'm like, you have? How?
Weird.
You know? And then I just wonder about like the different rights with things like Fall Guy and whatever, like coming, it's in theaters, but it's also here.
It's going straight to Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still curious about all that, but I don't know. I'd be like, how do you tell the health stock prices? Because that's gone. Those have, gone to a healthier spot, but is it attendance or is it money per customer? Like, because I also think AMC, how much money were they making off people doing the $20 a month thing, watching a movie or two a month?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Interesting.
If they're evolving though, that's for sure, and I'm happy to see that they're trying to change to catch up or whatever they got to do. But I wonder if they are feeling the burn of it.
But I'm excited for Olympics. I won't go watch anything in theaters for it, but I'm excited. Let's go Japan volleyball. Quick anime news.
What? You don't jump Team USA just for the Olympics? Because I know you watch Japanese volleyball.
Yeah. No.
By itself. Oh,
no.
Why?
Well, because I don't care to root for America.
Oh, I thought maybe because it was your one sport. You're like,
nah. Nope, Japan.
What about when it's America versus like Poland?
If I watch it, I'll just pick a team. I'll be like, who's somebody or something that
because I know I don't really care about sports, but I went to Michigan State, so I would prefer Michigan State to win. But if it's U of M versus whatever.
So the big thing,
Minnesota, I'd be like, I want U of M to win because they're from Michigan.
So the odd thing about volleyball is outside of like tournaments where people are broken up into nations, a lot of different nations play on the same team and stuff. So if there's like a player that
it's just like soccer.
So if I follow a player, I'll just root for that player and that team. If there's two players that I like on both teams, and I'll be like, oh, let's just have a good game. I want it to go full. I want everyone to have the best game that they can. But
no Americans in
very, very no. Not really.
That was very, very can't think of one.
I can't think of one.
It might be zero.
But the last event that I watched, my Japan team, if I remember right, took second. But a lot of their top players, were sitting out to get ready and to rest up for Olympics. So it's like, cool, we've done the rest. These should be the best. I want the gold. Let's go. Let's get all the way. We've set these players out for this. Let's go. So, but yeah, anime news. That was where we were going. The only little bit of anime news I have.
We got one thing.
It's sad, but we have to come to terms with it. One Piece live action. A lot of rumors went around that Jamie Lee Curtis was going to play Kureha, I believe is how you pronounce it. Is essentially a character that comes in with Chopper's storyline. She wanted to play it. She brought it up. A lot of people were rooting for it. It is unfortunately not going to happen. Scheduling conflicts takes her out of the running. So, but the showrunners have said they have cast it, and it is a good cast. They just haven't announced who yet. So sad we're not going to see her because she's obviously awesome and everything.
If you're going to get someone to replace Jamie Lee, you're probably getting somebody pretty.
It's got to be good.
You're casting high.
Yeah. So, but that's sad. I just want to bring that to if you're all keeping up with it. I think there are rumors of an Ace casting, but it is just rumors. So we won't talk too much on it. Once we get some more casting.
The rumors are Blue Beetle guy, right?
Blue Beetle. Hopefully that would be great. I still think I had different casting in mind, but I think he did great in that movie.
Oh yeah,
I wanted Danny Rojas from Ted Lasso. I think he'd be awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't he so much older though?
I mean the age in in live action.
Also, I'm just thinking,
weird. You know,
if this show goes 10 years, that guy's in his mid 40s by the time it's done. That guy's got to be in his mid 30s, right? And this other kid's 20.
Right, but
So like maybe higher because Blue Beetle probably maybe approaching 30. He's probably like 26.
Ace isn't in the show a lot though, so you don't need him a ton. So we could get him,
but
done.
When you need him, you need him.
You do need him. You do need him. So we'll see. I think if he is being casted, that's awesome. I think he did a great job as Blue Beetle. I think he would do really good in that. I just was like, I wonder who they're going to get.
And he hopped on being like, I'm going to be a new franchise boy to something that was instantly killed by James Gunn. So it's like, I got feelings for him too. Get on your next thing. I want him to have his next thing.
Yep. But I'm really excited for season 2. Let's get more One Piece, especially live action. Season 2's happening. The remake's happening. The show's still going strong, getting huge numbers, bigger numbers than probably it not ever has, but it's just big whammy after big whammy with Gear 5 coming, Shanks fight, all this different stuff. What was it? I think a year ago now they had the movie, the One Piece movie come to theaters.
The Red something?
Did huge gangbusters. So great to hear about One Piece doing well. So that's exciting. Let's get into games. Because there's a lot of games to talk about. We're already running late. So boom.
Are we?
I mean, it's...
Oh my God. Yeah. I haven't looked at the time once.
We are going real long.
We're so good at this.
Yep.
All of our news is pretty quick. Unless, was this something you want to talk about? Are you excited about it?
Which one?
Any of it?
A couple of them are. So I'm gonna hit the quick ones. Multiverses is still a thing, which is crazy to me, but just got acquired by Warner Gaming. I thought like that.
No, that was because remember they put Jason in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this game's had news like regularly that we've even been aware of.
I know, but it's like there's so many like Smash clones that come out and then do a couple things and then just go away. So, and if you told me it was the one that was going to have Cartoon Network characters is the one that was going to stay and keep going, I would not have put my money in that. You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess it's because they have like the licensing that it's not a Brawlhalla or something.
Right.
Where
but like
just
even the PlayStation one, what was that one?
All-Stars?
All-Star. Like other game consoles have tried to do it or other different things have
I thought
done.
that was a kart racer.
No, they had a Smash version, like a Smash clone.
Oh.
So, but
take your word for it.
It just got acquired by Warner Games, so more stuff coming there, and they just announced that they're adding Samurai Jack and Beetlejuice. So that's exciting. I love Smash. I love the Smash clones that I've got to play. So I'm excited. I should jump into this one. I just haven't got to yet. I thought it was gone. Honestly, I thought it was like cool. We did a couple things, then it just went quiet. But I beat up people as Shaggy Rogers, of course.
Yeah.
Another crazy thing. 2.2 million people paid $100 to play college football 3 days early. $100, 3 days. I think the normal version was 60, so you paid essentially.
Oh, it was 60?
I think it was.
Because remember, games are like $70 now, right? So
I thought I thought it was a $40 markup. Well, maybe I'm getting my numbers, because $100 this many days. This many.
Every game has 3 editions, right?
Right. Yeah. So
it's like they have, if you don't even count the ones that come with a statue or whatever.
Exactly.
But if I were to, let's say, I'm going to click PlayStation because I'm a real gamer.
Nerd.
And standard edition. It's taking me to the PlayStation Store, PS5, $70.
Oh, it's $70.
So it's $30 more.
So
to
$30,
$10 a day, baby.
$10 a day to play it early. But
you're also getting whatever these points are for their fantasy teams. So you're getting something else. But
isn't crazy. But the fact that it was 2.2 million people paid an extra $30 for.
Oh wait, no, you only get it if you do the Super Edition.
Oh, is it?
I mean, look at this. It's a visual list, so I can't really pull it up. But there's base game on standard, base game plus points on deluxe, and then there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 things listed.
Holy crap. Okay.
So I can see why some people would probably buy that and not even care about the 3
playing
days.
early. They're just
I can't say it's just that, of course, but what's not I feel like I'm always surprised by the numbers that these games do, but they make them every year.
They make them.
They're advertised everywhere every year. Like
it's just not a game that
they're paying so much money to give whoever it is the cover spot, and then eventually curse them for the rest of their lives.
Oh no!
But it's 2.2 million. It's like. How many people bought the game total? Now that we're days away from it. So what's the percentage of people who wanted to play 3 days early, spend the $30, get $30 in value of stuff, and then also get to play early come on. If I didn't have it pre-ordered and I wanted it, and I saw 2 of my friends, ding, ding, hop on, and they're playing like, shit, all right, I'm in, baby. I'm in. $30
If you were going to buy it anyway, Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm someone who let's assume the $70 is mentally subtracted because we're doing it. We're just measuring the 3 days.
Yes.
The 3 days are worth the $30 difference, right? I'm like, $30, that's one night out with the guys. You know what I mean? But if all those guys got 3 nights in, like, dude, I'm still gonna go spend the $30 on snacks and drinks and whatever to sit in with my friends.
Right.
But that's what girl math is all about.
That's what it's all about.
That's how I spin it to Shay.
But that's exciting for because one, we've been waiting a long time for another college football game, so it's exciting that it's doing so well. Which means probably the next one is. I know there's things missing from this one that people want. Like I follow people online that used to stream the mascots and them playing. That's apparently not in this one. So hopefully the next one will be able to add that back in, and we'll be able to see some more stuff.
They gotta have
that.
something to grow with. They can't give it all to you up
right?
front.
Yeah. And then another couple small things real quick. Modern Warfare 3 is coming to Game Pass tomorrow, so that's exciting.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, everybody really shit on that story. I think I beat it in like 3 hours. Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you remember me telling you that?
Yeah.
It was like the shortest thing ever. And then I guess it unlocks multiplayer, but everybody plays Warzone. I know that the multiplayer is used as a spot to level up your guns for Warzone, so people will be able to have access to that.
Yeah.
But I did see on there, because I watched the trailer. The trailer was wicked hype. I don't know why they were hyping up this game like it's dropping now. It came out a year ago almost. You know?
Maybe because
I was just like, wow, this is a lot of hype for this game. But in the lineup of Game Pass games, which I forgot, they showed a bunch of other Game Pass games that had them like revealing things that said like squad up, team up. They're in Sea of Thieves and someone lifts up a map and it says squad up. And I'm like, what is this cross promotion? But in the lineup of games, they had the new Call of Duty that's not out yet. What is it, Black Ops
6? No, 5.
5. I almost said 6 too, but Black Ops 5. And I was like, oh, that's way more exciting. If that's a part of PC Game Pass, like, I have that. So I'll probably be using that. It's just a wild thought, but that's a big get. That is a huge get. I don't know if you remember, but with the PlayStation 4 original Xbox One generation, PlayStation had the exclusives in that when new maps and new things would drop, you would get it a month early on PlayStation, and that drove a lot of sales. There were when you would buy it, you would also have the 2 game option bundles, one of which was Call of Duty. I don't even remember the other one, Ratchet and Clank. It was family bundle, and the other one was like, no, you're here to play Call of Duty. So Call of Duty pushes games. And with Game Pass changing their subscription, if they go, hey, but we're giving you the number 1 game in the world right now, or probably like number 5, but still, that's huge.
The other thing, I mean, it is the Xbox Game Pass price adjustments with that, but then also getting Call of Duty and Activision and Blizzard and all that. There's a lot of stuff going on with that. So
and Bethesda, which is not to be taken lightly, but those are Bethesda.
So maybe why they're hyping up. It wasn't just a trailer for Modern Warfare 3, and that's why they showed all the other games. It's like, no, this is a Game Pass hype thing because we're about to charge you more money. So we're just hyping up Game Pass with also Call of Duty. It's a name parents and other people know as a big game. We'll just add that in as like trying to hype it up. So maybe that's kind of the idea behind hyping up a little bit more than a 3-hour campaign or whatever, and not being Warzone and whatnot. So could be.
Which
be a
is
way
funny.
To
The moment from the story they highlighted a lot was them like about to jump out of a plane, like it was Warzone, and I was like, "But you guys are highlighting a story. I know what you're doing, but
And, people might not."
That's funny.
Real quick, the next Halo Infinite operation is happening on the 30th, which is a week from now. It is called FleetCom. I'm excited.
You'll be streaming that.
Yep, I've got all the other operations done. I'm excited for our next one. And it's also bringing back
These are
a game
the free limited time things, right?
Yeah, well, not free. They should. I think they're $5. It's like a season of a battle pass, but they're shorter and smaller. So it's just like
that is kind of
they're
what
called
I thought,
operations.
but I thought they were free.
So that's coming. That's exciting. I think there is a
free track.
Yes, if
Probably.
I remember right. I'm trying to remember because I just like it comes out cool. I'm getting it. It's like not a thought to me of what options there are. It's just like I'm getting that. But they also are bringing back VIP, which is cool. It's a game type that I don't think we've seen since Halo 3. Essentially, you're on a team 4v4 usually. One person's the VIP. Anytime that VIP dies, the other team gets a point. And so you're trying to like protect the one player while also trying to kill the opponent's VIP. Each VIP kills a point. First 1 to 10 wins. It's just a cool, unique game type. I could play the standard Slayer capture the flag on Halo for forever. I don't need other game types.
Whatever they call it, King of the Hill.
Yeah,
kind
but
of
for all the people that like different game types, I'm excited that they're going back and going like, oh, cool, here's VIP, here's this, here's all the stuff. I mean, they've got, they call it TAC Slayer now, but SWAT and all that different things. So they've got all the different game types you want, plus firefights there now in their unique way. So the only thing that's really missing, which I think is crazy that Infinite doesn't have, is the Halo 5 Guardians, like, Warzone, I think is what it was actually called, oddly enough. But like their PvP slash
PvPvE
PvPvE mode, which I feel like this game is just almost designed for. I can't believe they don't have it, but they don't. Hopefully, whatever comes next from them, hopefully we can get that either in this one, because the Forge is insane. So either someone's going to Forge make it or whatever. I played zombies in this game. I've done a lot of different stuff. So either the next Halo will have that back, or we'll see some Forge version of this come, and then I can play it, because I played a ton of that in Halo 5, mostly to get to level 152, but it was still just a really fun game type. So those are all kind of the smaller stories. We do have one trailer if we want to jump to that. Something you watched, I haven't watched, but we'll pull up and at least have it kind of quietly in the background so I can kind of see if you want to talk about what it is or what you thought of it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be taking a lot from Hades visually.
I can see that.
I didn't see too much about the loot, but like the fact that this is the gameplay, and it cuts right from cutscene to gameplay, and it's got the hard transition to tell, because it's like this almost cel-shaded, animated art style of gameplay, and I imagine there's going to be the character dialogue that comes in front where they're all sexy anime characters,
Yep.
But it looks roguelike in that you have this kind of home ship. You're going out to, it says get loot, return, and you're getting these upgrades and you're whatever, and go again, it says. But it's cooperative. It's an action RPG. So it's kind of like, the way I see it is, what if Hades had multiplayer? That's all I needed to be kind of sold on. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more, because this game currently doesn't have a release date. I wishlisted it on Steam. That's the most anyone can really do, is wishlist it on your platform.
Okay.
So there's that. But I thought this was one I was like, this is perfect stream material.
Yeah.
It's the type of... I think the camera can rotate, but otherwise it's like the type of view. It's got that kind of what's the game I can't think of you love? The dungeon game.
The dungeon game that I
Gauntlet.
Gauntlet.
It's got like it's got like the isometric Gauntlet feel with like light loot. Like the loot looks like resources.
Yeah.
And you bring them back and upgrade, which always looks fun. But
wishlist on
I mean,
Steam.
I thought the colors, everything, it looked great. And Surf Punk, like what a name. You couldn't tell because we were going audioless, but they're like, oh, bro, thanks for the upgrade.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, sure, put a fun flavor on your game for no other reason than just to put the flavor on.
Just a blast. Yeah.
Like
that
Hades,
looks cool.
Hades is still just as good a game if it's not Greek mythology. You know what I mean? But that's the flavor people like, so they put it on.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's a game I'll be getting. I'm sure it's going to come out at like $40 probably. I'll play that.
Cool. So we got two more stories to kind of wrap up. Would you like to do Assassin's Creed first?
It's not Splitgate 2 is the other one, right?
Splitgate 2 is the other one. There's a lot with Splitgate 2.
Really?
There's a lot. I'm so hyped.
Oh my God. Well, all you put was Splitgate 2 2025.
Well, here's the thing. I put that on there when it got announced. I was like, cool. And then I started looking into it.
All right, well then Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed.
Because I was like, I was wondering why you were jumping around this. I'm like, dude, just say it. It's like
Assassin's Creed Shadows. There's currently a little bit of my thing reset. Oh, there it is. There's a little bit of hubbub. A lot of people, a lot of Japanese community fan members. I said that wrong. Japanese community members of Assassin's Creed. Essentially, a petition went around.
That sounded right.
A petition went around, got like 94,000 signatures of misappropriation, and they don't like the samurai character because it's like a historical figure, but it's not actually following history. It's being very disrespectful and all that stuff.
Not following history. Okay.
So there's a lot of like really nitty gritty stuff, but essentially, Assassin's Creed or Ubisoft came out and made a statement on things. And there's 4 pages of it on Twitter.
Whoa.
If you want to go through and read all of it. I didn't really want to go into like deep about it, but I just want to let everyone know that what's happening with it. But essentially, they came out and said like, hey, we've always done Assassin's Creed in kind of a history kind of space, but we're not making history textbooks. We're making fiction within history. And that's kind of how they kind of spin why it's not 100% true to fact. But they are very they do take time to worry about inclusion and different things, and they talk about all this different stuff.
The character that you play as, because there's the two, there's stealth and there's brute.
Yep.
the Brute is a real person?
Yes, I believe so. Let me see.
Well, and you do play as the Brute. I've seen the gameplay. What's interesting, except for maybe a memory of something that could happen, in Assassin's Creed, you don't play as real people. You play alongside real people, Da Vinci, Cleopatra,
Right.
Socrates, whatever, but
Man, I wish I could. Oh, I could probably like Control Plus.
it's just Control Plus.
There we go. So right
Yasuke's
here,
position.
yep. What was it Yasuke's? Is that how you would say that?
I said Yasuke.
Yasuke's position as a samurai has been a source of some debate and given an apparent lack of historical documentation on the man, a servant of Oda. I'm so apologies.
Nobunaga.
Yeah. Some have taken issue with Ubisoft's game naming him a samurai. So it's like the fact that he is literally being labeled a samurai is causing issue, but I believe that character is like a real historical figure.
That's kind of strange, huh?
Yeah. Like, why would, like, so essentially what they say is they wanted to make an entertaining video game that tells a compelling historical fiction set in feudal Japan. Our team extensively collaborated with external consultants, historian researchers, and internal teams at Ubisoft Japan to inform our creative choices.
So I've been deep in Valhalla.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much in this game that I continue to be amazed by the depth, and even with Odyssey, I don't remember much about Origins, and I don't know. It was just a while ago that I played it.
Mm-hmm.
I played that game with a much lighter mind, I guess,
Right.
thinking it was going to be just an Assassin's Creed. But the amount of depth they go into to recreate some of these historical locations, spaces, the way that they talk about, like, a huge thing in Valhalla is religion, because you are coming in as a Dane against Christianity, and it is just so prevalent in this game. It's like, it's amazing how much weight they can put on a lot of those things. I keep being amazed at how historical they feel, like down to the types of materials that are used to build the buildings and like the textures put upon them because of that material. So I would sooner lean on the side of Ubisoft making another good historically accurate, asterisk historically accurate,
Right.
fictional video game versus 96,000 people who just decided against it.
Wanted to be angry about it. The other thing too is he talks, like, there's even historians talking about that he was granted samurai status by
Nobunaga.
Thank you. And he even cites different things, but he says that he might not have been acknowledged as a samurai by his enemies, which is why maybe the confusion is happening.
Yeah, who is this guy? This is his name on Twitter is Hirayama.
Yep. He's a post from Japanese historian.
He's just a Japanese historian?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy that some guy would like that he would speak on this. Wow. But yeah, so they have a historian that comes out and says that based off of aspects that are, what did it say, stipend, housing, and the sword he used, that he was likely a samurai but wasn't respected as one.
And this is all
visually.
from Polygon, is where we're getting all this info from. If you wanted to read up a little bit
that
more.
was a reference from that guy's tweet directly,
Yes.
but that does sound like a bunch of just nonsense.
It just seems such a weird, but the fact that Ubisoft came out and made a statement about it, I wanted to bring everyone's attention. If you're excited for Assassin's Creed and stuff and you want to keep up on everything that's happening, that was something that was like going on today. I was trying to keep track
That's
of.
so funny. Like, I don't know. I was just thinking, like, in Valhalla, I'm running around essentially England as a Dane, speaking English this whole time.
Right.
But I could do it fully dressed as a shinobi.
Oh, okay. So it's like,
I mean, I could also, not to go too far into like the game itself, but I could go dressed as like a robot soldier. I could go dressed as like a demon from hell. I could go as a draugr, like an undead, like a green smoky undead guy. But it was like, what does that matter?
right.
Like they didn't speak English either, but here we are, this in my English game, them speaking English to me. I don't know. It seems that seems very interesting that they're worried about that.
And they said right here, essentially, they're not making a history book, but a piece of fiction. How in-game characters react to Yasuke as a samurai is important to the plot of Assassin's Creed Shadows, developers said. So it's like, that is an important plot point, and it might even be the question if he is or isn't, or if he is seen as a samurai by some and not by others. That might be an important part they're covering. So it's like, it's almost like it's trying to do the work for you, but it's like people are already angry that they're even labeling him as that. And maybe it's because it's like play as samurai or shinobi. And, it's like the advertising is doing that more than the game itself. But something that's happening like right now. So I thought I'd bring it up, make sure everyone is kind of, if you want to read into it more. And
I could see like with the Ghost of Tsushima that came out, a lot of the game, in the advertisements, they're talking about you can stealth or you can go brute. You can 1v1 people or strike from the shadows. I could see where people be like, you can't strike from the shadows. You're a samurai. This is supposed to be super whatever. This is like disrespectful, whatever. And the reason I dropped that game is because they told me how disrespectful I was for sneaking around, which is my preferred gameplay. And I was like, what is this?
You gave me the option to play it this way.
But, the more I think on it, I really should go back and beat that game. But I could see the argument if what they're saying is correct, but it doesn't even sound like that it is.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mess right now, but I just knew you got just back into Assassin's Creed. It was newsworthy, so I thought I'd bring it up today.
It sounds like Derek might be playing this one too.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, he's like, hey, is there another Assassin's Creed coming out? Is it in Japan? Is that real? I'm like, I hope so, bud.
Yeah.
I hope
what was that
real.
dragon game?
Ooh, Scalebound.
Scalebound. Let's bring that back up. So the last story we have, something I'm really excited about. I know we're running long, but I do want to talk about it. Splitgate 2 coming out in 2025. Now, it was just an announcement that Splitgate 2 was coming. Essentially, what happened with Splitgate is it came out, did great, was awesome, had a few little expansions upon or whatever, and then they kind of dropped the game, mostly because they're like, we want to make the second one. We have the base of it. They dropped it and started working on the second one, is what their goal was. It's like, we knew the game worked now, but it's not the game we dreamed of. That's what Splitgate 2 is. So I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I'm excited for a sequel. Currently, right now, though, what you can do is what Splitgate 2 has difference is instead of just being essentially Halo Spartans with portal guns, is you are going to pick a faction in Splitgate 2. There are 3 different factions you can pick from, and they're going to have different characteristics and different kind of like armors and different things like that. And the way you play the game will actually help you kind of determine what faction you want. But right now, there's an app. There's a app you can get, which I have. I did all of this stuff. There is a Splitgate 2 app, a companion app, where you can take a quiz to tell you what faction they think you should be in based on answers of just like, pick your favorite food and this and that. It's just kind of like one of those quizzes.
It's a BuzzFeed quiz to get you a faction in game.
But which is fun, but what's cool about it is there's also, they're going to have, right now I think they have 2 issues of a comic book that leads into the story of the game. And they're going to be releasing comic books every month until the release of the game.
Wow, creating a comic book's not a joke, dude. That's tough.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And there's a collectible card system in the app that if you collect the cards and do the things in the app and associated with the game to collect the cards, it'll unlock cosmetic stuff when the game comes out based on your app and what you've collected in it. So it's like, so recently Concord we tried, and the big thing a lot of people have questions about that is how do you get people interested in the story if it's only like once a month little trailer things? Most people just click through that to get to the game. Where Splitgate 2 doesn't even have a date in 2025. It's at least probably a year away, if not further. And I'm already kind of like, oh, I might get into the story, because if I get into the story now and I start reading the comics and I follow this app, when the game comes out, I'm going to have a list of cosmetics that you could only get for doing all this stuff now. So it's already kind of getting me interested in the story of Splitgate 2, which they didn't have to do a story for Splitgate 2. I would have just played it. It didn't need any of that. And then they released a trailer, which was pretty cool. Essentially, it's like a lot of just action shots. The only thing that's a little concerning is we're seeing a lot of characters almost, and I don't want it to be a hero shooter. You know what I mean? Like we don't want that kind of aspect of it. But it might just be that instead of just always having a helmet on, you can see your character as like a person. Because the first one was just a bunch of characters with helmets, So you might see. You have a little bit more cosmetic with the actual character underneath, and then you have the armor on top of that, which you actually play in. But I was just really like, I loved Splitgate, and I was like, Splitgate 2, I'll play it. And then I was like, oh, wait, there's an app right now? Oh, wait, there's comics? Oh, I can start earning cosmetics right now? I mean, Halo Infinite got announced, and I drank how much Monster just for double XP things, let alone if I could have.
You're never going to use that much double
I'll never
XP,
use it.
Which is, it's so much Monster.
So much. But
and you don't drink Monsters. That's what's crazy.
But if I could start earning cosmetics early for Halo Infinite.
No, I did the same thing with Borderlands.
Yeah.
Borderlands had like, if you watch this many streams, if you do this
I do remember
many
that,
things, like, I I think there was only one cosmetic I didn't get because it required some sort of purchase, and I just didn't like it. I was like, it's not for me. It was funny, though, with that game. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to happen with this one because hopefully what happened with Borderlands 3 never happens to any game ever again. But that game, it didn't offer cosmetics at all after that. Until this week, actually. I got an email that I have Twitch things I could be doing to get shift codes, which are the company they have within their company that's like just across their games.
Yeah. That
manages rewards for things like that. And I was like, no way you're emailing me about this right now. I hate you.
So
this is interesting, though, because, it's hard to tell if it is characters. It does looks gorgeous, but like if they're characters as in hero shooter characters. Right. But is this the story? Because if it is, then hero shoot, like if the abilities are tied to characters, the abilities that you can then just mix and match with, you know? But
so that's the thing is it's hard to tell because you are seeing different abilities, different unique things we haven't had in Splitgate. The fact that you can just throw a portal in the middle of areas, there's the slow, the wall, all the different stuff that wasn't in the game before. And it is tied to, it looks like specific like armors in there, but those 3 characters that we saw in the trailer are essentially the faces of each of the clans. So like each one's tied to a specific clan. So it's like, are these just the the instinct, valor, mystic faces, sure. And then behind that is just people.
Yep.
Obviously, it's still super new and we don't know, but I hope it's not a hero shooter. I hope it's more just like, let me go in, shoot some stuff. Let me customize my character and then I pick my class based on whatever, not just, I pick Mercy, so I'm a support, or this because I'm this. It's like, I want to make my own character and then let me do whatever I want and how to play the game, how I want to play. But like you said, it looks gorgeous and it looks more, and from what the developers have come out and said and stuff, is like, this is the game that we dreamed about.
That's great.
Splitgate's the game that proved that we could do it.
It looks like they're treating it that way too, with a comic book and an app and things you can earn beforehand. Hopefully that stays continuous, but
fingers crossed.
Maybe not a comic book. You don't have to do a comic book through your whole game. It's a good lead in, but
if there's I think they're doing an issue a month. So say there's 20 issues. They have 2 out now. There's another 18 months until the game comes out. The 20th issue drops, and then the story gets picked up in game.
We're supposed to get a Rebel Moon video game, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm just thinking because Rebel Moon has a comic book.
Yep.
So, okay. Did you ever get that issue?
I did get my issues.
Just the one?
Just the one. I only got the one because it became, we went to the comic shop. Them, right? I had to import it. Once it was imported, it took like 3 weeks to show up. So it's like, as soon as the second one, I couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
So hopefully maybe there's like digital versions now that I can get. Then it might be a little easier. I can just get it on the iPad. And then
just wait for the trade.
Yeah.
Just get it all as one book rather than issues.
But this is great because it's in the app and it's digital, and I'm already reading the Splitgate story. So started out as just Splitgate 2 is coming, and then over the last day and a half, it went like, oh my God, there's a lot about this game already. So that's exciting. I'm pretty hyped. So I know we're running long, so I'm trying to wrap it up for us.
But, I can hear it in your voice. You're rapping.
But everybody that was here hanging out with us today, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you're watching this later on YouTube, thank you. And you can follow us over on twitch.tv/realpixel to watch it live with us, comment, talk to us like Sfeel and James did today. You could also get the audio files over on patreon.com/realpixel. I'm going to hopefully get a link up so you can get it on Spotify. And there is an RSS feed link right now you can pull from there to get it on Apple Podcasts. So if you want to just listen instead of watch, there are those options available to you, and I should make it easier here soon. But do you have anything else before we wrapped up, Stokes?
That's it.
That's it. We're wrapping it up, and we're going to end as we always end. Good night, James. Sweet dreams. We'll see you for breakfast.